What's up, everybody? This is Rene Rodriguez with the Long Story Longer podcast, and today I've got Letters from Wolves.
I'm Adam. I'm the vocalist.
I'm David, guitar.
I'm Andrea, drums.
Bryan, guitar.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for making it.
Thanks for having us.
A lot of you guys might remember Adam. I've had him on a couple times.
Yeah.
One of my musical brothers.
Yeah.
I love this dude right here.
Yeah.
And y'all I just met today, and I'm glad to have met you guys, man. Like,
Feelings
legit.
mutual.
So I'd been listening to you guys' music before it was released, because a couple tracks you showed me beforehand,
I
and
sent you some to check out.
yeah. I think it was two
Yeah.
that you had sent me before you guys released them, and yeah, I dig it, man. I like you guys' music, and so we're here to talk about that. Resurrection is the album, right?
Resurrect, yep.
11 tracks of metal awesomeness. So anyway, back to the album, Resurrection. So what I came to find out was you guys initially released the album how long before Adam came into play as an instrumental album?
Now it's a little over a year ago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit over a year, and was it just the anticipation of getting it out there for people to hear the music, or?
So, yeah. Essentially, we wanted to release it in order to recruit a vocalist.
Okay. To showcase the music.
Exactly, yeah. And then luckily and fortunately, we already started getting some show offers and good opportunities at KLAQ.
Right.
And then a few months later, that's when Adam joined. Well, more than a few months later. It was like 6-7 months later. Yeah.
And that being said, was there, besides Adam, was there other people showing interest too, or?
Quite a few people, you know, they showed the interest. Not everybody followed through. We had a couple that actually, you know, did follow through. I know David found a few guys too. And that's when I just pulled the trigger and you know, asked Adam, you know, hey, you know, do you mind just at least recording and while we find somebody? But it turned out to be the best case scenario for us.
Right. And Adam's got some pipes on him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And so Adam had sung on my little project, One Star Day, and with a bunch of other bands. And as long as I've known Adam, we've always had that musical connection as far as he's always liked my opinion of his music, you know, and that's why I get that opportunity, that blessing of hearing his music before a lot of other people do. And I love that this dude respects my opinion. And yeah, man, I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy you guys found him, and I can't wait to hear more out of you guys.
Oh yeah, we're stoked. We're definitely. I mean, the first day he came over to do a track, because it was more like feeling each other out that day.
Right.
That means two things. No, but yeah, he came over and
We had to know, right?
oh yeah, and
Gross.
I remember I told her, I was like, I'm gonna text you during the session. You tell me yes or no. And I didn't ask her. I said yes, and she's like, yeah. So at the end, I was like, dude, you please, like, you gotta join. And yeah, I mean, it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And so as far as you guys' songs on Resurrection, did you have a general idea of what you guys wanted the lyrics to be about, or did you guys have Adam come into it with free reins, or?
There were some songs already that had some lyrics, so he went based off of that, and then all the other ones he had free creative control.
Yeah.
There was some that they had lyrics for that I went in and pretty much tracked like word for word. I messed with some of the melodies on some of them, but for the most part, I kept what they had. But there was others where it was me 100%, and there was some other ones where me and Bryan kind of put our ideas together and kind of ran with it. So it was a really cool, you know, collaborative process. But like they were mentioning, like the first track that we did was one of the cases where they had the song written. So I had already heard the previous vocals, and I pretty much just went in to retrack them. But yeah, since the first time that I went in, the vibe was just there. Bryan and I worked really good together in the studio, and you know, the energy was just cool and fun. And so I think, you know, before I even left that day, both of us or all of us were like, so you guys want to do this shit or what?
Yeah.
So since the first session, we were like, yeah, let's go all in. So yeah, like you said, he had contacted me, and he sort of wanted me. They wanted me to work on the record. I think it was sort of a way to get me in there. Because when their record came out, I was already a fan of the band before I was in the band. I was in a previous project and everything, but I had heard them already. I'm like, fuck, man, these guys are good. So I had already been keeping tabs on them and, listening, and I'd been seeing them doing shows and shit. So when I was, sort of a free agent and the opportunity came up, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm going to go for it. So it worked out really well.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
One of the things I talked to Adam, whenever he showed me some of the music, or I don't know if it was recently or at first. I can't remember when this conversation took place. But one of the things, I think it was recently, yeah. One of the things do I love metal? Yes, I do. I grew up on metal. Did I grow out of it somewhat? Not really, but I softened up a lot. Whatever, But I still respect it. I still love it. I still listen to it here and there. What I told Adam about your band, though, was that I really respect the talent behind it, because it's not a bunch of and I'm not talking shit about any bands in particular, but a bunch of the bands that I've heard are chugga 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 pinch harmonic,
Right.
and repeat,
Right.
and I can't stand that, bro. The talent's there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the talent's there, but a lot of it ends up sounding the same, and you guys' music doesn't sound the same, man.
Thank you.
So having said that, how do you guys collaborate on the music, or is there brains to this, or did you, Adam? Was that you?
Oh, that was a burp.
Oh, okay.
that was a burp. You will know if it comes out of the other.
All right.
Trust me.
All right. Cool.
Off
Anyway,
the stream.
but yeah, how do you guys, before Adam came into play with the band, what's you guys' music process?
Well, so what happened with Resurrect was I had everything together. She was always with me, so that made it easier. And then, I started doing the recording process. I mean, we did the recording process. He was coming over to do some other style of music with me. And then at the end, he was like, well, you know what? Since we're working together, we might as well work together on this project. So, he joined when the music was done.
Okay.
So, I guess, I hate saying it, but I mean, the brain for Resurrect was with me.
Right.
So yeah, everything, was pretty much finished. So we went ahead and got it mixed and mastered, and released it. And like I said before, I kind of used that to showcase the music to find
Right.
a vocalist. On the new stuff, we pretty much already have an album ready. With this, what happens is, I'm the one with the recording stuff. So I'll send my ideas to the rest, and they'll give me a yes, no, that sucks, change this. 80% is great, but this 20% sucks.
Right.
He'll record a video or voice memo, sends me riffs over, and I'll structure them into either an existing song or make a whole song out of his idea. But it's very collaborative. I don't like to say here's a song. I say, what do you guys think? Yes, no. I mean, they both have made me change a few songs on the new stuff, and that's what I like about our process. There's no ego behind it. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
Right.
I remember I brought a whole song to the table. He loved it. They hated it. So it's scrapped.
Right.
Completely almost scrapped. But then there's times where I'll bring something complete to them, and they love it. There's nothing to change. There's when he sends me voice memos or videos of a riff, I have them all on my phone. David riff 1, David riff 2, David riff 3, and they're being worked on right now to keep bringing music. I guess because right now I'm the one with the most time. I work from home, so I'm always
Right.
picking up my guitar and
He
putting
has a
some stuff
riff
together.
bank.
I have a riff bank. It's massive on my computer.
Like as a matter of fact, when I joined to record Resurrect, when I joined, I think it was the first session that I went. He'd already showed me all the new stuff. So he has, you know, material stockpiled. So I was like, fuck, man, I want to start recording on this stuff like right now. So, you know, we kind of, you know, put it on the back burner, and we finished the record that was already recorded first. So yeah, he's always got you know, material, and he's always writing shit too. Like, I'll get a random message during the day and be like, hey, check this shit out, and it'll be like a fully written song. Like, dude, that's badass. So yeah, I think it's, I mean, I don't think his mind, like, musically ever shuts off. So
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
That's good, man. You got to keep it active.
Yeah.
Yep.
So having said that, and as far as the first album, David, when you're playing the stuff that he wrote, how easy or how hard was that for you to jump into and play his parts?
Well, I generally learn things pretty easily.
Okay.
But the past bands I've been in, they are just like your basic like timing signatures, like
Right.
your basic band like rhythms and stuff like that. Bryan, on the other hand, he writes a little bit differently. He writes more progressive, more different time signatures. And,
Right. But
yeah, so it, I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I'm not like a master with it. But I mean, if anything, since he, you know, he knows that music pretty well, that he was able to teach me a lot of the different timing and stuff like that, so I could actually get the riffs down perfectly to what he wanted
right.
them done. And I mean, generally, like one song, I mean, I'd probably pick it up in like 2 practices, maybe. I'd probably pick up like one song in 2 practices, maybe, and then the third one we just go over it real quick, and then okay, the next one, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anything, the only thing that I have going for me is that I can pick it up quick, especially if it's somebody else's music.
Right,
I can learn it. I can learn it pretty quickly. So, I mean, for it being progressive music, like off time
Right.
or something like that. So,
that's where I suck, man, because I've been playing for, if I'm 44, I've been playing for since I was 16. So what's that? No, I can't do math right now.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't do the math right now, but it's a long time. But I don't think I play like how I should play for how long I've been playing. But I'm good at playing my stuff that I wrote, you know. But as far as playing other people's music, I think I'd have a hard time. That's why I was asking you, how easy or how hard was it for you to jump into it?
I'd say like out of 10, it was probably like difficulty wise, probably like a 7 or 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it wasn't like a 10 or nothing, but
And again, going back to listening to the music, there's talent behind it, bro. So it's like, yeah, I'd imagine I couldn't do it.
yeah.
I mean, it's funny that David mentions that, because there's been times, for me, it's been a challenge too, because I previous to this, I was so used to, you know, regular time signatures and everything, and there's been parts where I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do vocally over this part, or like I'm singing this part and in the middle of it, you know, it changes or jumps. I'm like, dude, I fucking hate you, Bryan.
And it's funny because
yeah.
we actually I actually listen to a lot of progressive metal, but
Right. Right.
I don't play it, but now I do, so it's just
Yeah,
kind of
same.
makes sense.
So yeah,
You don't just dabble with it anymore. You're part of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I struggle with it too because I'm self-taught on the drums,
Uh-huh.
so
So yeah,
it's like, oh, this is a whatever, not, you know, the typical.
So,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, I don't know what that means, but
Bryan
okay.
will throw his like math metal shit at us, and I'm like, dude, how the fuck am I supposed to do a verse to this? Or, but the funny thing is that he'll fucking map it out like for you, and like there's some parts where he had to mouth like what I should be doing, and I couldn't wrap my head around it, but I would try and like nail it once, and then once I got it, I'd be like, oh, I get it now.
Clicks. Yeah.
So I would see what he meant, but it's a challenge because of the way that he writes some of his shit too. So I like that it's challenging though, because I think it makes all of us, but especially me, better too. So
It makes the end product a
Yeah.
lot better as well.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, there was one of the newest songs that I brought to the table. I told them immediately, you guys are gonna hate me because it goes from 6/4 to 7/4, just in this one riff. And then David's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna hate you."
Yeah, like
No,
the riff
or
is
it's gonna be impossible to play.
well, the riff is ridiculous. It's not even like it's not even a riff. It's just a bunch of like hand movements.
it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen I don't know if it's like a YouTube or something where it's called like Will It Riff,
Right. Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
they'll find like a bar
The serial
numbers
and
on-
shit, and then they'll bar it and
It riffs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Bryan.
Hell yeah, man. Yep. And so you said you were self-taught, Andrea. How long have you been playing?
Ooh, since I was 5 or 6 years old.
Oh,
Me and
okay.
Adam were just talking about this
Yeah,
yesterday,
yesterday,
actually. Yeah, 'cause he asked. So, yeah, so that was like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, and do you stick to a particular brand of drums, or what's your
No,
preference? Or
I've had different. So, my from the ones that I've used, my preference is Mapex, but I haven't. Yeah, I know. And I like the color too, so bonus. But
it's all dirty because Miko doesn't clean it, but
no,
yeah,
I
it's
know.
a nice color when it's clean.
No, yeah, I mean you can tell, but
should-
I mean I've had Mapex. My first drum set ever was a sound percussion. You know, like your typical
Right.
beginner set. And then have like an 8-piece PDP that I hardly use anymore because I'm so used to my 4-piece Mapex that he got me used to actually.
Well,
Because it was a 6-piece.
It's a 6-piece, but it's because I'm also a drummer.
Oh, okay.
So when I was drumming, when we first met, she ended up being my bass player.
Okay.
She picked up the bass. Like she says we forced her into it.
They made me. They were
But,
like, "You're playing bass," and I was
yeah.
like, "Okay."
I told her,
Oh,
I was
no.
like, hey, you know what? A 6-piece kit, it sucks carrying around. I was like, if you can do on a 4-piece, but make it sound like that 6-piece, you'll be unstoppable. And that's exactly what she ended up
Less
doing.
is more.
Yep, less is more. That's actually as a drummer aspect, less is more for sure, dude. Like, and I've told some sound guys before because I used to be in a couple cover bands. Now I'm just in one. I told one of the sound guys, he was like, "Oh, you got a real simple setup." I was like, "It's gonna sound like 32 drums though." And at the end of the show, he was like, "Fuck, you weren't kidding, man."
Yep.
I was like, you just gotta get creative, dude."
Even my son, for his age, when he's compared himself to other drummers, he's told me, he's like, no, it's because less is more.
Yep.
Less is more. Something his teacher, Bryan Carvajal, taught him, I'm sure. Bryan's the drummer for Collide the Gemini,
Right.
that band. So yeah, I owe a lot of Miko's talent to Bryan. He was self-taught too initially, and then I put him in school, and Bryan was the best teacher he could have had. Like I love Miko's talent. They learned from Bryan for sure. And you guys have been playing for how long guitar?
I've been playing since I was like 14, like 13, 14 years old. My uncle taught me. Like, he had an acoustic, and I don't know what I was doing, whatever, but he's the one that taught me before he died. So then I just kind of just kept going. So I've been playing guitar for about 24 years, something like that. Yeah, for quite a while now.
And for me, I mean, my dad plays acoustic guitar, but he was only doing like chords and church songs, so he didn't teach me much.
Right.
I think he
You
taught me
branched off.
the G chord, and that's it. I went and started using tabs and stuff like that. But in earnest, like, I picked up the guitar with real seriousness around 2010, and stopped 2012. Just stopped. And then that's when I was playing drums with our previous band. She was playing bass. And I literally just picked it back up in earnest 2 years ago, maybe, when we started doing this. I just started picking it up. Like I said, I work from home, so I have the time. I just fiddled around. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and let this music go to waste. So I kind of just spent, almost making blood on my calluses, and I just went for it. I mean,
yeah.
the thing that helps me is I went to school for music.
Okay.
In high school, I was in drumline, orchestra, concert band, and then in college, music too. So I have that advantage, and that's probably why I write the way I write, with all, odd time signatures, and I know the terminology. Sometimes
You have a different understanding of
Yes,
everything, for
yeah.
sure.
So, and I've always wanted to go into composing. And with Adam, that's one of the things he even told me, like, you just want to use me. I was like, hell yeah, I just want to use you. Because I have so many things musically that, and it's true, my brain doesn't shut off when it comes to music. I would love to write music from video games. I would love to write music for movies. Like, I just always want to compose all hours of the day. I recently just wrote a song about how my dog gets pissed off when it hears the doorbell, and it's such a brutal song, and I told him I need his vocals on it. There's a couple of covers we worked on that came out so good, dude. One of them everybody knows. The other one, it's like pop.
Obscure.
Yeah. But there's always things that I want to do, and yeah, I mean, I think for me it's like a race of time. Like before I can't do this anymore, I want to put as much out as I can.
Good, bro. But I mean, you watch all these bands aging and doing it forever, so I'm sure it'll be a while before you can't do it
Man.
no more.
I'll do it with a walker if I have to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. And then your preference of equipment, guitar wise, or?
I love Schecter all the way. I've had different guitars. I've had Ibanez's. I hate Floyd Rose. I just can't stand them, especially when you're restringing and resetting up. I hate them. My first Schecter was the Damien 6-string. Fell in love. EMG pickups. I have a Tempest standard that they don't even sell anymore, and I've got a monster sound out of that. She just spoiled me and got me a 7-string. It's a Triad Sunset, so it has a 3 pickup switch.
Oh.
Well, it's got 4 pickups, but one of the switches uses 3 pickups. So like the first day we took it home, it shook the whole house. It was crazy. But Schecter all the way, man. I love Schecter so much. Like I don't think
They're very nice looking guitars. I love the way they look. And Adrian and I were just talking about Schecter, right?
Yeah.
The Robert Smith guitar.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about the Robert Smith guitar. I think it was not even a week ago.
Yeah, Schecter is my jam. As far as guitars, that's probably the only guitar I want. Amps, I can go either way, but I used to have like a Mesa dual rectifier with an orange 4x12, and that was like the sweet spot sound for me. But right now I'm just using a PV Valve King half stack. But I think the sound that I got out of it, I pretty much nailed it for what we're doing. Yeah.
And you, David?
As far as guitars, I've used a bunch of different brands from
Right.
Schecter to Fender, all of them, whatever. If I could afford one, I'd want to get like an ESP, but since they're so expensive, I'll settle for LTD, whatever. So I really like their style of guitars. They're very simple. They're not they're not super like flashy or like colorful. They just kind of they stick basic black, but everything just looks very nice and sleek, whatever.
I had a satin black one for a while, and I tore it up because it was kind of faded and messed up, and I should have left it alone. But I tore it apart, and I never put it back together. But it was satin black initially.
Yeah, man, those are cool.
Yeah.
Mine's matte black with like a really bright mahogany neck, and then that's pretty much it. It's very basic, but it looks really nice to me. I don't know. That's pretty much like my favorite guitar brand. I'll use whatever. It doesn't matter. I've had a Telecaster with humbuckers before. Like it's it's cool too. But amp wise, I used to have a 5150 with an orange cap, and that was really good. But then I stopped playing music. I went on hiatus for like 8 years before I started playing again. So I sold everything that I had. So now I'm using an orange.
Was it like? Don't mean to interrupt, but I took a hiatus for a long time too because I decided I was gonna grow up.
Yeah, I was. That's what I was doing. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. Like, I'm done with the whole like carrying my shit around everywhere and all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, I'm getting too old for this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sick of it, whatever. Because like I was getting tired of like bands I was in and all the drama and all the BS, whatever. And I was like, you know what, man, screw it. I'm just gonna stop. But then I met this guy, and now I'm right back to
You got the itch back.
buying shit again.
He's right back
He
to
loves
all
it.
of our drama and
He loves
bullshit,
it.
bro.
No, yeah, I love this stuff, but I could never find people who I could stick around with.
Right.
So, but right now, I have okay equipment now. Right now I'm using an orange Super Crush 100 head, and I'm trying to get the cab for it back again. But right now I just have a Hughes and Kettner 4x12. It uses like Celestian 10s in there, so they sound good. They're not vintage 30s, but it still sounds good enough right now. So, but other than that, that's what I'm using right now, though.
Oh yeah, bro.
But I love Orange brand. That's my brand. I like orange.
Yeah, those are nice amps, man. They've got different labels for the tone and stuff, right? On the knobs.
Yeah.
It's like symbols or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they
or-
don't use words. They just
Yeah.
have little symbols on there.
Yeah.
So I think it's very unique.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're playing bass also, right, Brian?
On the
Or-
record, yeah.
yeah.
Live, trusty little MacBook does it.
Yeah, and it's always on time.
It's always on time.
It always shows
It
up.
doesn't show up late.
It's equipment's heavy, but I'm the one who has to put that down or up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that we have a little monitor rack with. We have the option to run our sound and backtracks stereo or mono, for our in-ears and stuff like that too. But yeah, we just set the laptop on top. I have a digital mixer that I run it to, and then I send the sound to house, and yeah, we shake the place with 808s and stuff like that. I tried. My thing coming back to music this time was I want us to sound like the album live.
Right.
So we use the backtracks as the bass player, but we also, like, if there's synths that I put in there, they're gonna come out live. The 808s, obviously, I wanted his harmonies to come out, or some, if he's doing the mid screams, I want the highs or lows to come out to complement him. And I know a lot of there was this huge thing maybe 2-3 years ago where there was a band that didn't play because their equipment wasn't working for the backtracks, and people were like, "Oh, that's dumb, this and this and that." No, you want the quality to be shown. You don't want to just play half-assed either, and that's kind of my thing. That
You'd be shortchanging the event or the show.
Exactly, yeah. And no, and that's something that I love about everybody here, that they don't sacrifice on quality either. I know before we got Adam in, my thing was we got to be flashing on stage. We don't have a vocalist right now. We got to have pure energy. So we choreographed a lot of stuff up there, try to bring back the crab core.
Oh, we were just trying to just make it look, because we don't have a vocalist or anything, so an instrumental band, like, everybody's just like,
Yeah.
So we were trying to just make us stand out by just having some kind of choreography, me and him. But I don't know, it was cool, whatever. But
It's cool because they kind of developed that bond, and
Yeah.
they developed their personalities on stage. So, like, me stepping into the picture, I've been in bands before where the rest of the band is like, they just stand still, and these guys move like crazy, and they do the stuff that they had previously figured out. So for me, it's like, hell yeah, dude! Everybody's on, everybody's doing something. So they had already sort of developed their kind of, in a way, their showman kind of frontman vibes on guitars. So for me, it just lifted up the show, even more, and
Right on.
for me to step up and just throw down and do my thing too. So,
Oh yeah, bro. Right on.
and I mean, even if you watch Andy behind the kit, she's a fucking beast.
The ring.
It's all hair,
All hair.
and then she has a fucking fan too. She has a fan on the floor, so like there's parts where she looks like a fucking like
Super Saiyan.
otherworldly,
Yeah.
But yeah, she throws down too. So like everybody in the band live, we all really we do our thing, and there's a lot of times too where we're all locked into each other. So it's super cool. So I'm sort of glad that they had that period on themselves, because they developed their own kind of identities, and then I just came in and it's still there.
Yeah, I like you said, there's a lot of bands. I'm not trashing them or anything. Some can move, some can't. They're just focusing too much. And obviously, when you're a virtuoso on a guitar and you're just sweeping everywhere, you can't be running around like a jackass either.
Yes and no, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's one of the things that I wanted to do, was not be boring on stage, and it's carrying over to today. He's always been a show guy. Like, he's always jumped, kicked, and super lanky body, so we called him Monkey. But he's always been a great performer, dude.
Right.
Like that's. I mean, I will never take that away from
You wouldn't know from how calm he is today.
Yeah, exactly. But he's always been a great performer, and I was like, oh, it's not going to be hard to convince him to do anything. Me, on the other hand, so he's like the professional. Like, I know how to look cool when I'm jamming. And then you get to me, the fat, round Oompa Loompa. Try not to break the
I
we're
can
gonna break through the stage.
Yeah, break through the stage. But no, we have fun. I mean, like I said, he looks cool, and he's always like he knows what he's doing. I just like to have fun on stage. Like, I choreograph the high five or stupid flex on stage, or the little crabcore stuff. I told Adam, when I get skinny, I'm gonna like roll around his back and stuff like that. But that's I just love it. Like, I just want to act a fool up there and
Hell yeah, man.
Draw people in.
Yeah, I was talking a few episodes back. So I'm working in San Diego right now, the last several months. And there's a bar down the street from the hotel, the Good Bar, and we go there and pretty often for karaoke or for bands or stand-up comedy. And there's a cover band that plays nothing but hair metal and AC/DC. And the guitarist, bro, he's doing all that maestro stuff, tearing it up, just shredding and doing everything, bouncing off the walls, bro. We saw him at a different venue one day, and he's wireless, right?
Yeah.
We saw him at a different venue one time, and his wireless unit stopped working, so he was tethered to a corner of the bar, so he couldn't move much. It kind of killed the vibe of the show because you're used to seeing him bouncing off the pool tables, or whatever benches or whatever is there, and they still perform great,
Yeah.
for sure. He's still turning it up on guitar, but him being tethered down, kind of like didn't kill
Put
it,
the
but
leash.
yeah, put a leash on it. So, but he's amazing to watch for sure. I'm not. I respect that music too, hair metal, but I just it's not my thing. But watching somebody kick ass at it live, it's a different thing. I love it there live.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was gonna go back to going back to before Adam came in to do vocals though. Is this something that you guys didn't attempt yourselves to do, like sing yourselves or something?
Hell no.
No confidence in
Nah, I mean,
I had offered to sing, and then just find a screamer.
and he was like, hell no too, or
Well,
what?
he wanted me to just focus on guitar this
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
because I've been singing and playing guitar in all the
Okay.
bands and shit, and he was just like, "I want you to just focus on guitar."
Right on.
So I said,
Yeah.
"Okay."
and then because he was in the band called Burn Island Burn. Wow, I said that super. Anyways, Burn Island Burn, and in the local scene, and I could tell you that was easily the first time watching them. I was a huge fan. I was like, this is my favorite band. Like,
Locally.
yeah, locally. So I know he's a great
mush.
singer, a very very good singer. But for me, in my personal opinion, his voice is very ambient indie sounding. So in my opinion, like I put his voice to the music, I was like, it just won't fit in my opinion. And then the other thing was I wanted him to really break out of his shell and just focus on guitar and be with me on stage, if that makes sense. I can carry a tune. I'm not tone deaf. I'm not a strong singer, but I can do harmonies very well. So there was no way I was gonna attempt to sing. I don't scream at all. I tried it the other day for the first time, and that was probably the last time I'll do it, because then she'll yell at me. But yeah, there's no way. I knew. We almost paid somebody famous
Oh.
to track the album, and then we would have been like, oh, this is what we're looking for. But nah, he came in the nick of time, right in the nick of time. Cause yeah, it was what 10 months or no, not 10 months, but 6-7 months of us just doing instrumental shows, and we were like, damn, we just need to find a vocalist already.
Well, I was one that kept on bugging him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that as far as the audience? How did they take to just an instrumental band?
I think
Surprisingly, pretty well.
pretty well.
Good.
The first song we released, to Keep Mashing Necks, immediately that week we got hit up by Daniel Paulus from KLAQ, and he's like, "Hey, send me a
Awesome,
song."
dude. I owe a lot to
Yeah,
Daniel.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's our boy.
Yeah, so I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And then before we knew it, Loudwire for the Pit, Loudwire Nights, they wanted to use her song as a theme song.
Oh, right on.
So we're like, hell yeah, let's do it. I mean, that for us was like, dude, we haven't even had this song out for a week and we're getting hit up. And luckily, knock on wood, I have never asked for a show. They've been offered. So, we've been steady in that. And since our debut, people always, oh yeah, let's get letters from Wolves. And I think we made a good impression with our showmanship, her drumming. We had a tight thing going. We practiced for a good while before I said let's play shows, because I didn't want to be unprepared or something go wrong or anything like that. So right out the gate, I think we set the bar for ourselves pretty high. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, people
And then
enjoyed us a lot.
once the vocals came into play, it's that different dynamic for
Oh,
sure.
dude. Once I got a lot of compliments for Adam joining the band, because right when we heard Gift of Hate, I was like, this dude is perfect for the band. his singing, the screams, and he's very, very versatile. It's not just one thing that he's good at. He's good at everything. So, and that's why I'm abusing him right now. But
Great at vocals, great
Yeah,
at
more ways
yeah.
than one.
And
great
yes,
at
more ways
vocals.
than one.
yes, it means both ways.
He's good at vocals. He's good at aromas.
Yep. Grabbing ankles. No, but he blew me away, and the first thing, like, we're really close to JL from No Suffer. That's my reskinned brother. But the first thing he said was, "Bro, you guys found the perfect vocalist," and I was like, I agree, because he just fits the music. It's like he understood what I was going for, and he went for it.
And we just saw them at the roller derby. Hi, Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
those guys-
Which
Love those dudes, man.
we had the derby girls here, Susie and Ivy, and she was saying too at the end of the podcast, I showed Adam the clip where she's looking for bands. I was like, I know a couple bands, and I was like, I'll reach out to Adam. She's like, I've already talked to Adam. I'm like, all right, cool.
yeah. As a matter of fact, since then we connected, and we're gonna be playing in October.
Nice.
We're gonna be doing I think it's actually a championship match like later on in the season. So that should be really cool.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, but we did see No Suffer play that day. They played pretty cool. I want to probably try to get them on here too eventually.
Yeah, they're real awesome guys.
And it's cool because those guys, and there's a lot of bands right now in the scene, and it's funny because we're all in heavier bands, I guess you could say, or more aggressive bands, but it's like a love fest right now. There's a lot of bands that are supporting each other, and
Yeah.
like, we all share each other's shit, and it's kind of funny because you sort of thinking back when I would see posts of these guys looking for vocalists, I would actually like share those posts. But all the while, like in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck, I wish I could be the one doing it, but which ended up, eventually happening. But yeah, the No Suffer, and there's a bunch of really good bands out right now, and it's just like we're all supporting each other because, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
We're all out there doing the same thing. Why hate on each other? If you hear something badass, you can fucking let people know that you think it's badass, even if it's not your band. So yeah, it's really cool, and we get a lot of that from those guys from No Suffer. They're always supporting our shit, and we always share their stuff. And there's a lot of bands. We're kind of building a community right now, so it's a really cool thing that's happening.
No. So yeah, we did see them, and well, that's cool that that there's a bunch of bands playing together too, or helping each other out, because that's exactly what you want. Obviously, we've heard about this through the stand-up comic community. So with music too, that's full lineups for every show.
Yeah, and I think it's important to support, each other. As I never understood, when there was beef. So and that for me is like, all the people that were playing in bands then, we're all still playing in bands now.
Yeah,
And we're older.
different bands
so,
maybe, or
yeah, and so we're all getting older, and I think that's where that mindset's coming from now, where it's like, why are we fighting? We should be helping each other out, or making, trying to build the music scene up. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I set out to do with this band, is use it as a platform to highlight others as well. So when we have shows, we're there from open to close. We make it a point to, take a picture of each member, do a quick video, and post it on our page and tag them, just so everyone, like, oh yeah, look, check out this band, that band. It's all about support. We have to be that way, especially in El Paso. I mean, there's a million people, or in Texas in general, there's a million people doing the same thing, and everyone deserves that shot. So
and the payoff is a lot better if there's that help.
yeah,
It'll give El Paso a different name eventually. It's,
exactly. Bring bigger packages come this way too. So, but yeah, that's kind of my thing. I was just telling, I think it was you or your brother, I can't remember, but one of my goals when I can't be lugging equipment around anymore is to open my own venue and really help local music. I think it's really, really important. That way, if big touring packages come, that gives the local bands an opportunity to open for big touring packages and getting their music out there and stuff like that, or even help them do some sort of sponsorship thing where you can help them get merch, because that shit ain't cheap, dude. We're struggling with that right now.
Yeah.
We got some stickers coming up, the high quality decals, but especially with inflation right now, the trying to get shirts done, it's an arm and a leg, man. So I mean just putting the word out there, helping each other out, I think it's really important in the music community.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think ultimately every band wants what's best for their band, for sure. Does reality say we're gonna make it big, ultimately big to be played everywhere? Maybe, maybe not. But the dream's there, and
Yep.
and even if you don't make it too big, just locally famous or locally busy playing music is the most you could ask for.
Yeah.
You get radio play, awesome. It's a good feeling, man. And so with me only having 3 songs out there, I feel a sense of pride, it having been played on the radio, and I love getting feedback from it. So I'm sure you guys have a lot more music out there to be heard, and it's going to be, I'm sure the self, or not the self, but the satisfaction you guys get from it is the same. It's
And for me,
it's why we do it.
For me, I'll say that no matter how many times we get on the queue, it's like it's awesome every time, because I think back to myself like as a 13 or 14-year-old kid, and that would be something that I would like shit my pants over. I could only dream of having a song on the radio, So to have that opportunity now, like every time I catch it on the air, or I see the screen, the share of Q Connected and our name up there, I'm like, hell yeah, dude! Like it doesn't, the charm is not lost on me. Like it's, even though it's, we're local, you still feel like a rock star when you hear your song on the radio. So I know you can share that feeling, that sentiment.
Yeah. So to me, it always feels great when Daniel sends me the message. Right? It's always, as many times as he's played our music, it always feels great when I get that message from him. When it feels better, there's one time it feels better, because the first song that we wrote together, Adam wrote it about my son and myself, a father-son song. So whenever he plays it for Father's Day, it's a lot.
That's awesome.
It's a lot deeper, It's, and my son at this point, he's too cool for anything, so he's like, whatever, man.
Get over it, Dad.
Dude. Not just that. Whenever we recorded music and we've got it all done, whatever we had with Adam singing or whatever I've got with me singing, like the second it's done and we're driving back home from the studio, I listen to that shit on repeat, bro. And he's over it. The second it's done, he's done with it. I don't get it. I'm like, Daddy, why do you listen to it more? I'm like, because it sounds great. This is us, man. Get it through your skull, man. This is us.
I won't lie. When Resurrect first came out with Adam, I had that shit on repeat. Because you heard the instrumental, you can think one thing. But once you hear Adam with the music, it's a whole different experience. So... And there's, like, on Rise, I text him too, and I was like, dude, you make me wet when you say this specific phrase. It just came out so sultry. But yeah, I mean, we've been playing, enough shows right now to where I'm just focused on the new stuff right now, and I'm giddy with anticipation on what you have in store. Yeah, it's a lot heavier. We went from 6 strings to 7 strings on this new stuff. I mean, there's still a couple of 6-string songs, but dude, so Resurrect. The reason why it's called Resurrect is because I'm bringing back old songs that we've had forever, that I've had forever, and this new stuff. I think Rise and Demise showcases what the new stuff is gonna be.
I told Adam that was my favorite song on that album.
That song really pushes you towards our direction now. I mean, even now, when you first joined, I showed him the whole EP. It wasn't EP then. Now it's an album. Yeah. But he, like he said earlier, he was like, "Fuck, I want to do this right now." And I was like, "Trust me, me too." I mean, to put it in perspective, when it was an EP, the 6th song, next month turns a year old.
Right.
So you can only imagine how much I'm itching to get this out. But things happen on its own time for a reason. We even threw 2 covers in there, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And it'll be like the icebreaker to keep people interested while the new stuff is being worked on.
So,
But that new stuff is, damn, it spanks. It
so,
spanks real hard.
before I get to the covers, and you don't got to name them if you don't want to release it yet, but before I get to that real quick though, going back to Rise and Demise, I was telling Adam, I was like, I don't mind having had to have gone through the whole album before I got to that song. But I asked Adam, all due respect, why isn't it somewhere sooner in the album, you know? I love that song. I do, man.
Yeah, that one was...
He gave me the answer. He said it was pretty much the way, the order you guys recorded stuff, right?
Yeah. That song definitely was the last one I wrote. I said, I'm just going to borrow a 7th string. I didn't even have one at that time. When I was in another cover band, my guitarist there, he has like 30 guitars. So I was like, you have a 7th string? He's like, yeah, can I borrow one? Sure. Give it to me for like 4 or 5 months or something like that. And I didn't know what tuning I wanted to do it in. Her favorite band is Vela Maya. So I use their tuning. It's a weird F sharp B tuning. And I just started messing around, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do gent or something like that. And I just started messing around with tapping in between riffs. And that song's a bitch. I took so long recording it. I was like, I hated myself. I was like, why did I have to write this? It was a crazy song. So at the end, I was just
I can see her excitement.
Yeah. At the end, I was just happy it was recorded. I sent it off. I was like, it is what it is. If it does good, if it doesn't. But what really made me a fan of that song was him throwing the vocals on it. I was just like, and then his idea with like that chanting monk thing. Oh my god, it just cherry on top.
And I have to give credit where it's due, because when I went in to track that song, Bryan had that song written. That was one of the songs that he had lyrics for, and he had the cadences too. So he's like, I want you to do it like this. And for me, as a vocalist, I'm not like, for one, I try to be the least egotistical person I possibly can. I don't want to get a big head with all the lead singer,
Lies.
all the lead singer bullshit. And I don't know, when I came in, I think Bryan was sort of like a little skeptical maybe of how I would react to it. He's like, hey, I have parts. He's like, what do you think? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you're making my job easier. Because, as for my age and as many songs that I've written, I'm like, what am I going to write about at this point? Like, really, the only things I'm pissed about are, having a mortgage, going to work. I'm like, how am I going to write some
That hits so hard.
Deep philosophical
My
lyrics
back
about
hurts.
that? My back hurts when I get out of bed. So whenever somebody has like lyric ideas, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So he had the lyrics written. He had a lot of the cadences written. A lot of the screams are straight up what he wanted. And when it came to the choruses, that's really when I put my stamp on a lot of the stuff that we do, is because the melodies and all that stuff. A lot of times actually Bryan has melodies and ideas too, but like for me, even if the song is written or if the lyrics are written, I get to put my performance on it. I get to put my emotion on it, and my whatever issues I have in my head going on at the time, I get to put all that into it.
Oh, it still makes it somewhat easier for you to jump into it also.
Yeah, so he had that song written, but I went and did it, and I had this idea that I heard, and it's that chanting part that Bryan's talking about. I told him, let me try something, and I did it. And I kind of explained to him what I wanted it to sound like. I'm like, dude, have you ever heard like Gregorian chant, like monks, like the vocal stuff that they do? Like, I want it to sound like that. And he's like, oh, give me a second. He does this thing, editing, and boom, it was there. I'm like, dude, oh my god. So I think that song for me turned out to be like the favorite on the record too. I mean, I love all of them, but that song is like, I freaking love how that song came out. So, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's just being able to collaborate and everything. But like these guys say, like we're talking about the new stuff. I'm really excited to work on it too, because it's it's the same band, but it's like a, I don't know, it's like a different energy where that music is coming from, and especially now that we're all we all know each other's personalities and vibe and everything. So I think now we're just ready to just kill it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
And Andrea, as far as your drum parts, do you take a note from Bryan, or do you?
Well, he's definitely taught me a lot because again, I was self-taught.
Right.
I mean, I had some uncles who drummed, but they would show up if I needed to know something here and there, if I had
Right.
questions on it. Everything else was me. But having two drummers in the band actually helps out a lot because you bounce off ideas off each other all the time. So, and he knows a lot more, technical stuff than I do. So he'll be like, "What about this?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, that sounds cool," or vice versa. But he makes some of the parts hard though.
But for me, it's like I know she can do it.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's
You wouldn't ask of her anything
exactly. Yeah.
beyond her limits.
Exactly. And
What?
even if something is, if she considers it slightly out of her limits, it's not something that she couldn't.
Right.
With time.
It's attainable.
Exactly. So that's why I don't mind telling her do this. And she's like, no, and I was like, no, yes. And I mean, we all get frustrated with some things. Like right now, I told them I can't wait to stop playing Tattered and Torn live. I have a mental block on stage with that one for some reason. I know. Well, before Adam, just A Gift to Hate was just crazy live for you.
I still hate that
Yeah.
song. That was one of the songs that another one of the songs that I came in and the song was written, and it's written in a way to where there's no breaks in that song vocally. Like a lot of the stuff that I write, I'll give myself little seconds here and there, little
Breathing room.
pockets to catch my breath, but that song is like balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So by
We
the
have
end
it the
of,
hardest.
but both of us hate that. Fucking me and Andy hate.
I
that
love it,
song.
and I hate it, and I love it.
Me and David are chilling on that song.
No sweat at
I
all.
love the song. Like if I sit and listen to it, I'm like, damn, this is a bad song. But performing it is such a bitch. And it's the last song of our set, so even physically, like, I'm gonna go off extra hard because I know it's our last song. So physically and everything, so we're giving it everything. So I hate that song, dude.
Just
It's-
pop your
it's a
knuckles
fucking
before you play it.
banger. And as a matter of fact, it's my brother's favorite song that we have. He's like, that song, dude. I'm like, I hate that song. Like, I love that song, but I hate it.
It was always her favorite song
Yeah.
too. Every time we think about, like if there's submit your song for this or whatever, she's always the first thing that comes out. Get the hate, get the hate. Yeah, that song, I had the intention to make it shine lyrically and drum wise. The guitars just follow her feet basically. I have some lead parts or whatever, but it's all just drums and vocals for that. I mean, lyrically, I was really pissed off a long time ago when I wrote that song, and it's directed at someone specific. But yeah, that song for the longest time, even back then, a lot of people loved the song. So, but yeah, that one was always sonically charged.
I was like, what asshole wrote this song? I hate them.
So is it directed at somebody romantically or
Nah.
no? Okay, just somebody that pinched a nerve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll leave it open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Because even for me, that song could be dedicated to a number of people, previously in my life, but I didn't even write it, so anybody can give it their meaning and take it and roll with it.
Which is what music should do
which
anyway,
Which is
Exactly.
a beautiful thing, yeah. So, yeah.
And I was asking because I gotta listen to it again to remember the lyrics, but I found myself with what little I've written, even before studio time, that I would write little things. I put them just me and the acoustic guitar on Facebook or whatever, and people would ask me, "Oh, how do you plan on moving on if you're writing a song about someone else back in the day?" It's like it's music. It's a story that we're telling from it doesn't mean you're dwelling on anything. It's just music from the past. It's a story about the past.
And not only that, but sometimes it helps you heal and move forward.
Yeah, for sure,
So,
for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're stuck on it. It's just, hey, this is how I felt, but I'm good now.
Yeah.
So,
But
but
I think-
that's something that I love about us as a band is it's very inclusive. Everybody has a say. I enforce a voting system, majority rules type of thing. And one of the things immediately that I loved about Adam is you can come to him with some stuff, and he doesn't take that anyway. I've worked with vocalists in the past that
Ego.
they couldn't take it. They just couldn't take it. But Adam, I'm
Adam
like,
can
hey,
take it real good.
oh, deep too.
You have no idea.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
yeah, that's what I do love. He, and you know, even with like if we have to retract stuff, he doesn't mind it. You know, we recently did an acoustic version of one of our songs, and you know, the first take we all sat on it for a while. And I was a little nervous at first. I won't, you know, lie about it because, like I said in the past, I've had, you know, really bad clashes with vocalists. But I told him, hey man, you know, after I sat on it, I think we should try it a different way. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, me too. And yeah, I think we took you for a loop that day because in the original version, it's like there's some math in there. And in the acoustic version, I simplified the shit out of it. So he's like, "Man, you took the math core out."
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of the songs that I, believe it or not, you know, our math metal shit that he's written, and he put it to an acoustic version, and that's a song that historically up to now has fucked with me the worst in the studio. Like I was ready to walk out.
I sensed
like,
it.
Dude, I'm done. I'm done
Yep.
with this song. But like you said, yeah, we tracked it once and we kind of lived with it. And even then, I think it gave me a little bit of trouble. But I tracked it, and I think at that point, I did it just to like I was happy with the fact that I got through it. But we all kind of lived with it, and when he came at me, he's like, you know, I think you can do it better. I'm like, you know what, I agree. So we went in and retracked it, but there was one part, man, it was fucking rough. Like Andy was there, and I think my wife was there too. But she was. I think she was in her own world. She was like listening to a book on tape or some shit. She's like, yeah. She's like, I'll let you deal with this shit because I was frustrated, man. And like I said, it was one of those instances where I finally hit it, and I was like, Dad, that's it. That's what you wanted. But it was such a pain in the ass, but it was so funny because it was an acoustic song.
Yeah.
Like, of all the songs, like of all the riffs and time signatures, it was like a soft, you know, acoustic song version that messed with me the most. So. But as a matter of fact, I'll bring this one up because it's a good story too. I think it was one of the second or third songs that we tracked when I started working on the record. You know, we did our thing and I took off and everything. I don't know if it was like a day later or something. And Bryan texts me, he's like, dude, you're gonna hate me. I'm like, yeah, I don't think he even thought about telling this story. He's like, you're gonna hate me, dude. He's like, I lost the tracks.
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, I lost the vocals that you did. And I thought he was bullshitting me. I'm like, whatever, dude. You're fucking around. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, you're going to have to retract. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, are you serious? Because we were really happy with the performance. I don't know, what song? Do you know what song? It was Betrayal.
It haunted me. As I had it in the back of my head. It was buried, and he just got the shovel and dug it out. It's Betrayal.
Yeah. So we lost that full session, but I have to say that I went in and retracted it, and we got a better performance. So it was like we were okay with the fact that it got lost because it was like a blessing in disguise.
I still wasn't. Dude, I was so stressed. It happened the night before, and I was up till peak hours, 2-3 in the morning, trying to recover it or find it. I told her, I was like, I don't know what happened. And at that time, we were doing all the sessions on my MacBook, so I kept running out of space with plugins and you know, all this other stuff. And I think it just got pushed out. You know, sometimes it makes space on its own and I think that's what happened with the Betrayal. Dude, my stomach was hurting. The heartburn was crazy.
He was shitting his pants.
Yeah.
He really didn't want to tell me.
No, I didn't
because I don't think he knew how I was gonna take it because we were still, you know, getting acquainted with each other. But I mean, for me, I've been doing it so long, and I've been blessed to record a shit ton of music, and work with different people in different studios to know that sometimes that shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I mean, we're all human, and technology is technology, and so I was annoyed, but I was like, whatever, dude. I'm like, well, we'll make it work. I'll go retrack it, and it's all good. And like I said, I went in, and it was a fucking killer session the second time around. So,
but he's such a sweetheart because he never let me know that until after. Because he was like, no, dude, don't worry about it. You know, this and this and that. I was like, bro, I'm ready to cut my wrist long ways, not sideways. I'm not joking this time. But no, this time I had to do it. I bought actually one of those, a Mac Mini, with a terabyte of space. So this never happens again, dude. Because and now I'm backing up shit with Time Machine, and I have another hard drive where I just back up Logic sessions because I don't want that.
I'll pick on them too, like when we're tracking, like you say that, right?
Yeah.
You say that one. You didn't delete it.
And that was because I had never tracked vocals before. Like this Resurrect album was the first time I tracked vocals for anything. I'm used to, like, I'm real particular when it comes to like what the guitars sound like, what the drums sound like, and I think, and you can weigh in here. I think the guitar sounds on especially the new stuff are stellar. The bass is sounding great. The drums, Jesus. But now that I know what I'm doing, and he comes in and does his shit. Like you don't have to worry about nothing. I mean, you really don't complain about anything either. I think we have our good workflow now. So sessions actually are fast now.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we go in to do full vocals, take us maybe tops 2 hours.
Yeah,
maybe if
depending on, because like 5 million, we did 1 million tracks on them. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on how much lyrics I have or Bryan has, or, different cadences and stuff, because I think there's been maybe 1 or 2 where I've gone and had nothing.
Yeah.
But even then, it took us like 2 hours to hash out the whole... I'll literally be sitting there, with a notepad writing shit out, and we'll be writing cadences, and we'll do it.
Yeah. Those are the ones that took the 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I think we did that with X.
Yeah. Because I had it like half written when I went in, and I'm like, fuck it, we'll just write it while I'm there.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, I've like I said, I've done it a lot. I've written a shit ton of songs, and I'm not being cocky or anything, but I've honed my craft to know how to approach a song and how to write a song, and what I want to accomplish. I mean, I don't always have it though. I mean, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this song. So, and that's where it's good where we have
the feedback and everything.
I have Bryan too that like he says he has all that music theory and shit behind him. So he has a lot of ideas sometimes, and he'll just guide me, and like with his input, I'll be like, oh shit, I got something for that part. Or I'll tell him I'm gonna try something, just track it and we'll see how it goes. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But I think it's just the years of experience, and I'm a fan of all kinds of music. I take all of that in with me too. So I've developed a way of writing. Yeah, I take it all in. Yeah. So yeah, those are my warm ups. So yeah, man. I mean,
It never ends, Rene.
Yeah, never ends. I just personally I love writing music, man.
Yeah.
I fucking love writing music. I love you give me an idea. Like some of the ideas came for this record solely from song titles. Like I think This Town, all the songs already had, and it's weird because the few of the bands that I've been in, all the songs have already been named for me. I'm like, what the hell, man? I don't get to ever name anything. But a lot of songs that I approach are already named, which was the case with this whole record too. But it's strange because I find inspiration simply in the song titles.
It gave you some direction.
Yeah, and for This Town, I asked, like, there's a few where I've asked Bryan, well, what do you vision? And usually he's like, just whatever you want, dude, just go for it. He's like, but this particular song, he's like, I envision like a western, like he's like, the song is This Town Ain't Big Enough.
Yeah.
And I think for you or you guys, they're big gamers.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where he got the idea from. So I'm like, dude, I can write a western all day long.
Yep.
So yeah, I kind of approached it like that, and it came out so killer, man. But it was just that painting that picture in my head of like an old school western, you know, in a shootout and just that storytelling, and that's what I wrote it around. And it's I mean it's a straight up fucking metal song, but it's a western too. So you know, just shit like that, little inspiration you get from unexpected places is awesome, you know.
Yeah,
So,
like with this new stuff that we have coming up, these are literally working titles. So I told them none of those. There's
It's
only
not
one
concrete.
song. Yeah, yeah. Like we have Keep Mashing Next or Run Faster on this record. On the next one, I have Press Circle to Crouch. I said that's the only one that's because I want to keep that theme, you know, between records or EPs. But everything else, all the other 8 songs or how many we have so far, I said it's up to you, man. But that's what he said. He's like, no, but sometimes, like I'm sure at least 1 or 2 are gonna keep the name. But yeah, I told him this time around I ain't got no lyrics. I don't have any themes in mind. I was just focusing on the music portion of it. I'm leaving it all on him. I'm sure though down the line I'll be like, oh, and I've already done it. Where I'm like, oh, I think you should do this for this song.
And as far as guitars, I got 2 questions about guitars. But the first one on the new album, how creative is are you gonna be on the music writing process?
Well, I mean, this one I haven't done is
As much?
I've contributed as much as I can with the time I have because I have a very busy lifestyle. So I send him what I can
bottom man.
when I can. Well, I'm like a family man now, so
Yeah.
I have kids and stuff, so I don't have a lot of time to
I hear you, man.
write and stuff. So, but when I can, I mean, I'll try sending him a riff or something, and most of the time he's like, oh yeah, I could probably work with that, and I could probably throw it in here or whatever. And then sometimes it's like, you know, I can't really hear it, or it doesn't really fit with this. Maybe try something else. So I mean, when I can, I'll send him something. But for the most part, like he'll like send me a riff, and I'll be like, hey man, like try adding this to it, see what it sounds like, and then he'll be like, oh okay, yeah.
For me personally, that is part of the writing process.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said earlier, there's been 2 or 3 songs where you guys are like, oh, I hate this part, and I would, and that to me is constructive criticism.
Right.
So I'll take that part out and I'll come back with a different approach, and they'll be like, oh, way better. There's been a few times when I bring a full song where there's been no notes, which for me that's good because that means we're heading in the right direction where there's not gonna have to be a lot of editing or whatever. But I always welcome it. I never get upset about it or anything because I trust them. And honestly, it's actually worked out for the best when they tell me, dude, this part sucks. Oh, okay, I got you. And I mean, one of them bit them in the ass though, because it was sort of a breakdown. And looking back on it now, it was whack. And then when I changed it, they were like, "Fuck, we can't play that." And I'm like, "No, you can, you can."
No,
But,
it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
really
bad.
bad breakdown.
I think at that point for that portion of the song, I just didn't know what to do. I guess it was like one small burnout part that I hit one wall. But they made me look back on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I get what they're saying. But yeah, him telling me yes, no on certain parts, or there's one song, I think it's Seven Horn Cry. Oh, that's the working title. His breakdown in 2 riffs were helped me finish the song, because I only had maybe 2 riffs out of it, and I just didn't know where to go with it. And he sends me some stuff, and boom, it's done.
Yeah, like I had a breakdown already.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would probably fit in there, and then like another like filler like riff,
a bridge,
like a bridge to connect the last chorus in there, and then
So I'm laughing within my head, bro, because the key word when I first asked you the question was riffs, and you're talking about riffs too. One of the shows, and see if Adrian remembers, one of the shows that we had seen, again, I'm not judging anybody because they're up there doing it and I'm not doing it right, but my intention wasn't to be funny.
Yeah.
Again, my comment earlier, chugga, 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 pinch harmonic. And I simply asked Adrian, what the fuck is wrong with having a riff? And we just started laughing. I wasn't trying to be funny. It was just a legit question, and we started laughing at it. And I'm like, hell yeah, riffs are still alive and kicking. Well, in your music, it's just, to me, a riff says a lot about the talent too. It's everything to me.
Yeah.
But,
And it, because there, and that's the thing. I know there's a lot of just open note palm mute, diggy dun dun, diggy dun dun, diggy dun. It's everywhere. Or it's too riffy. We're just there's nothing to relax on. It's just always really really busy. And I think we found a happy medium where yes we have the chugs and the breakdowns, but there's I put a lot of thought into a riff. Like I don't just want it to sound cool, but I want it to hook you.
Right.
Like that's my thing. Like anybody could go or just all the time. Me, I just want it to be tasteful, you know. And that's why he was telling me the joke song that I made. It's probably gonna end up on the album because it slams so hard.
Right.
On this track.
Yeah, but no, I really tried writing with purpose. I think we have a specific sound
Because you're gonna get judged by it ultimately.
Exactly. Yeah, and especially in the new direction that we're heading. I wouldn't. Well, yeah, it's kind of a new direction, I would say, but I think that's really gonna define our sound from here on out.
And as far as your sound is as two guitarists in the same band, do you guys have a sound that you guys stick with individually, or do you guys change the sound per song? I mean, of course, you're gonna go maybe from clean to a heavy, whatever. But is there a heavy that you guys stick to, or do you guys differentiate your tones much, or
Like our amp sound, or
yeah, your just your basic guitar sound, whatever you're playing with. Like I love a simple, the knob at 10 with maybe a little bit of gain, not too much.
okay. Well, he's lead, so he has more mids. I'm rhythm, so I have less mids.
Right.
So I'm more punchy on chords. He's more punchy on picking
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But that's So I have a different tone than he does, but
Yeah.
it's
That's-
slightly, but it's just like I think it's just the mids really. I mean, because so you can differentiate
Right,
who's doing
right.
what, but I don't know.
And with growing up back, you know, younger as a guitarist, I always thought hitting
louder the
gain
better.
at 10, yeah, or putting the gain all the way at 10. You know, you stop playing, you hear the whole time. Yeah, and that's the only way to get the pinch harmonics or whatever. But now I think I would consider myself a more mature musician. And you know, you thank God for YouTube, dude. You learn so much off of that. And where I wanted to come in with is more of a gent sound, I guess you could say. And I've learned that they don't use a lot of gain. I think the most right now I'm going is like 7 on gain. I might even do less with the new stuff because that guitar is too hot, but it also forces me to play better because you know with gain you can mask a lot. Now no, you gotta play a lot better. But yeah, that's kind of the crafted sound that I wanted to go for. Just more clarity. I didn't want it to sound like a whole bunch of muddy, jumbled up noise on stage. So I think I got my sound nailed pretty well. And then when he got his stuff, you know, we sat together and just tried to find his sound.
Whatever complements each other.
Yeah, exactly. I think we even sat for like an hour the first time, right? And I just said pick, and then I would do something, and then you'd come in and adjust it.
Yeah, I mean, we found a sounder, but I mean, like, I'll adjust, like, every so often just to see if, hey, you know, maybe this would sound, I don't know, man, like, I kind of just, like, there's a certain, like now, the past, like, few shows or whatever, like, few months or whatever, I've kind of kept the settings the way it is right now, because I like how it sounds now.
Right.
I don't know, like, before that, like, he had me set, he's like, hey, man, like, this tone sounds really good. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then she'd always get mad at me because at practice I would like adjust it, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you touching it?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm just trying to see."
Sounds fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. Don't touch it.
But the only problem is that it's the pedals, my tube screamer,
Right.
and like stuff like that. Like, I'll, you know, turn this one a little bit here, this way, just see how it sounds once in a while. But the amp stays exactly the same. It's just
Right.
it's the tube screamer. I kind of sometimes like, well, let me just add a little more here. So.
Well, the thing too is with travel, the knobs move anyway, so you kind of have to adjust every once in a while.
I tried to educate some young friends at one point about their sound because they had the treble all the way up, the mid all the way up, and the bass barely even present. So it's just a sharp sound, you know. And But they were young, and I tried to tell them, hey, try to figure out your sound, clean it up a little bit, just mess with your knobs till you find the right sound. But
So it's all
It's-
scooped.
I mean, there's different types of musicians all in all, and they're still young, you know. But yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, all that treble, it just irks me though, man. They got talent, but all that treble just, oh my god.
Death metal.
That's metal. That boss metal. What is it called? Yeah, just metal, right?
Wow.
Metal zone pedal.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just, you can have the treble all the way down, and you still hear it. It's crazy. It's a crappy pedal. Man.
Yeah.
Such a piece of shit.
I remember that pedal.
Yeah.
Never had it, but
I think everyone's had one at least in their lifetime.
Metal Zone is better, but the death metal one, it sucks.
I have the metal.
well, because the death metal one was what? It was like $50 back in the day when it
Yeah.
first came out.
It's like $40
It was
now.
one of the cheaper ones. And the DS one was what, like
Pair of
60,
that.
69 bucks.
Pair that bitch with a BC Rich, and you're cooking with oil, man.
You got some Cannibal Corpse going.
No, and I meant to say earlier when we were talking about guitars, your favorite brands or whatever. A conversation that Adrian and I were having recently, it was because he's selling a bass at the moment. It's a beautiful bass, but I told him, I'm like, I'm not sexy enough for that bass, man. Like I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy with guitars. Like I love Fender. I'm inspired by my favorite guitarist is John Frusciante
Okay.
from the Peppers. That's more my thing. So I stick with Fender for the most part. But also because I've had Les Pauls, I've had other guitars, and they're heavy as shit. Even when I was younger, they'd take a toll on my back, you know. And it's Fender's always felt right to me.
Yeah, I think you picked up my Schecters before, and you were like, "Damn, bro, this is heavy."
Well, I mean, we would benefit from baritone because it gives a heavier tone. But I mean, it's just, I ain't trying to be on stage like, you know,
Lugging.
trying to hold him or something.
And you,
Goddamn. You break for sure.
It just came out of me. Man.
but you wouldn't think that weight difference would be too much, and it is, man.
It's a lot, man.
It's a lot.
I mean, Schecter makes really good baritone. It's just,
Yeah, my 7's a baritone. I got it as a baritone for a reason. Just better tuning stability. You can get thicker strings.
yeah, there you go. It holds up well
Yeah.
after that stuff.
I had a Paul Reed Smith that I bought from Anthony actually, that I had bought from him, and that one was not Mark Tremonti, another Mark. What's his face? A signature guitar, PRS, and I couldn't find my sound in that guitar. I couldn't find it. It was made to be tuned lower, and for my hybrid amp, it's a combo solid state and tube amp. My Fender, small thing, but it's got punch, it's got power, whatever. But I couldn't find my sound in that guitar, bro. So I sold it, and that's how I got
Oh, okay.
the Telecaster right here. It's just Fender's just always, I find my place quick.
My dad's a Fender guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I've got my Strat in my bedroom because I've got two guitar hangers by my bed too. So I've got my acoustic there and my Strat, and they'll swap out between here and my bedroom all the time. But yeah, Fender's
Yeah.
my stuff.
Yeah, I got those guitar hangers too, but Adam uses them when he's over.
And she allows all this, okay?
Give away all of our secrets, man. Jeez. Bring out the give.
I don't think his wrists fit in the...
It's not his wrists that are on there.
It's my ankles, dude.
Yeah.
Are they bruised or anything? Or?
Well, we'll have to
used to
shoot
it
some.
now.
Oh, God.
We'll have to shoot some behind the scenes footage right now before you guys head out there.
A lot more limber than I lead to be.
No, but yeah, man, it's just that going back to that bass that Adrian has. It's just like solid bass for sure. You know, it's just we know what we like. You
Yeah.
know, and I just feel it's too fancy for me. It's.
I mean, for me, back in the day as a guitar player too, I had Les Pauls and I played Schecters, and most recently I was playing, which I'm actually lending the guitar to Bryan because he wants to fool around with it, is a Squire Tellez, and for me that was like the perfect guitar for me. I always felt that it was, your sound is in your hands.
Yeah.
And more than anything, your sound, your tone, and everything is in your fingers and your hands. So for me, it really doesn't matter how expensive or how cheap your shit is. You know, it's the way you play it. But for me, it got to a point where it was like just something that you're gonna get the work out of. Like just it's gonna serve its purpose, and it
Your
doesn't
workhorse.
have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be, Because I used to, as a guitar player, I used to dream of fucking PRSs and shit like that. To like, oh, I'll never own one, but I made do with what I did, and I see these guys playing on what they have, and for me, I'm like, man, these guys sound badass. And the cool thing is too is that you can actually hear that there is two guitar players. It pisses me off more than anything when you see a band and they have two guitar players, and it's that they're playing the same thing. I'm like, why do they have two guitar players? So the fact that you can hear two different parts like that alone is like that's the way it should be. If you have two guitar players, it should be two different riffs, But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, dude, just you don't have to have the fanciest shit. If you can play, it's gonna show. And I think that's a lot of our attitude. Is like we're not claiming to be the best. We just show up and do what we do. We take our experience into it. We're not cocky. We do have the mileage to know that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we just have fucking blast, man. We have fun. Like even if we show up and the place is empty, or like for me, I approach it to where like you don't know at what point, whatever show might be the last show you ever play.
Yep.
So I'm lucky, to where the people in my life allow me to go out during the week or whenever and play shows. So I feel fortunate anytime, we even get to play. Or if there's one person there that comes up to us like, man, you guys are badass. That's like everything, dude. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of our attitude. Just like, we'll do what we do. We'll do our best at it. I think we're doing pretty damn good at it, and just have fun.
Yep.
So
It almost felt like I'd almost taken a stab at me. I've got these guitars that I can't play worth a damn, and
no, not at all. See, for me as a player too, when I played guitar, I played for 15, 20 years too.
Yeah.
I never felt like I don't even feel like I'm a good guitar player. I felt like I played to serve the song, and I got to a decent point. I can't play the way these guys can play. I can't do a fucking pinch harmonic. I can't do any of that shit. But
that's why I say like I'm good at playing what I play. I'm good at playing what I write. And I've done a couple of things where I'm like, oh shit, I just pulled this off, cool. But what bugs me, not bugs me, but what gets me more is when people put me on the spot, like, oh, you play guitar? Play this song.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Hotel California is one of the big ones.
We were talking about that last night. Because we went out last night and there was a cover band playing, and I'm like, I was never the type of player. Bryan's on the same page as me to where like if somebody would ask you like, oh, play something, play a song, like I don't know any songs. I can't play you, Hotel California, or I can't play. I don't know any songs aside from my songs. So,
the first thing I do if someone hands me a guitar, drop the string. I can play you what I play, but I am playing nothing else.
And that's when they're not impressed. You could be playing the most complicated thing, bro.
I'll play the song. I'll play the riff that everybody knows, which is fucking Be Quiet and Drive. I'll play Deftones, and that's all I random songs that people know. Aside from that, that's about it.
But yeah, it hasn't happened to me in a long time. But yeah, I was like, no, let me show something that I wrote, and they're not impressed. They want to hear Hotel California. They want to hear Freebird, like you mentioned. They want to hear Stairway to Heaven, Iron Man.
Let me just bust out some Ventura Highway, right? Because I have that shit memorized in my head. Yeah.
Like, no, dude, that's not what I'm about. Yeah. Not to take away from anybody that plays those songs at all, because that's talent too. But it's I was never big into. I love playing songs for sure. I respect a bunch of my favorite players' songs or artists' songs, but I don't play their songs,
Yeah.
But which reminds me of a question I was going to ask you guys about earlier, without divulging what songs you're covering. What's the process? Because I've been curious too. Like, what's the process of putting them on iTunes if it's a cover without you getting penalized or?
So, well, I'm okay with saying we already pretty much put it on the
Yeah,
Instagram.
we
Oh,
can
okay.
tell you, we can tell you what songs we're
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
We're doing My Curse from Killswitch Engage, but for one, it's an R tuning. It's a different tuning, and we're also doing Gasoline by Halsey. But that it's a cover, but it's in our style. It's a whole different composition. The good thing is we use DistroKid to put.
Yeah, that's what I use too.
And they have a section where it asks you, "Is this a cover?"
Okay.
So they handle it.
All right.
I think one of the things is we don't get anything like any
Monetary or-
exactly. So I think that's what helps go around that. But yeah, the Kill Switch cover, it's pretty much the song. Just we're performing it and dropped in a different tuning. But Halsey, that song, dude, I'm excited to release that. Like I know he's itching real bad because it's a whole different. It's the song, and I think the elements from the original, I was able to recreate almost perfectly. But the way the guitars come in, the drums, the bass, his vocals, dude, we were grinning ear to ear, and we were tip to tip when we were done recording that song. Docking and everything, but yeah, that song came out really, really good, dude. Like I listened to it today because I put everything on we have a band Google Drive. I'm listening to it today as a fan. I don't care what that makes me seem like, but dude, because I love Halsey. She has such a unique voice. I love her music, and that's what prompted me. I think we were doing Live from Letdown, and
we were driving.
She forgot her cymbal.
She forgot her cymbal
Yeah.
back, so I told you like, well, let's jump in
Yeah.
quick because I just pulled up and I was
Yeah.
like, jump in with me, we'll go get it. We weren't too far away from your guys' house, so we jumped in my car, and we were headed to go pick up her cymbal bag, and Brian's like, he's like, there's this song that I want to cover. He's like, but I don't know how you would feel about it. And I'm like, well, what song? He's like, are you a fan of Halsey? I'm like, to be honest, I've never really heard her shit. He's like, well, let me show you this song. So he told me what song, and I looked it up on my Spotify, and I put it on in the car, and it was Gasoline. And that's the first impression I ever had from her, and I'm like, dude, like you just converted me as a fan. I'm like, if you want to do this song, he's like, I've been thinking about. What do you think? I'm like, do it. That's all I said. I'm like, do it. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
do it. What, like a week later, you had the
It
song?
wasn't even a week. Dude.
No?
It was like 2 days. It was like 2 days later. He had the full song music. Not even just figured out. He had it tracked.
He waited
So-
2 days, but he secretly already had it done.
Yeah, he already had it.
Actually, I
done.
didn't.
No, he did it like
Yeah,
quick. Like,
yeah.
when I told him like you should do it. So he did it. He figured it out, and it's very honest to the original version, but of course it's a full on rock version.
It's been wolfed.
So I was like, damn, dude. And the thing that got me on that song right away for me is the emotion in her voice and her performance and everything. So I told Bryan, I'm like, dude, we're really gonna work hard at capturing that same vocal performance on it. This is gonna be like the best vocal performance I've done. And it's a cover song, so it's not our song, right? But it is one of the songs I'm most excited with what I accomplished vocally. So yeah, I'm really excited to put that cover out.
It came out, and I guess it was like 2 days, but I think that's the advantage of learning and growing up, going to school for music, was be able to compose that quickly. But I just approached him with another song that I thought was a banger. I haven't worked on it yet, but I think that one's gonna be a good song to kind of put out there too.
And I brought in some to him too. I'm like, dude, if ever you covered a song for me, it's this song or that song, or so you might hear more covers coming from us here and there, because we for one we can like Bryan set up to record from home, so we have the capability of doing it, and obviously I love recording. I love the process of recording, so so you might hear some more covers coming from our way.
I did tell my son Ryan that I do want to cover something our style too, our the way we play, and I tossed ideas at him, and so far he doesn't like anything that I want to do. And one of the songs I was thinking about, I don't know if you guys remember that song, Bulletproof, LaRue.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that one, and I came to find out there's a bunch of bands that already did it on YouTube. I was like, oh, because it just played at random in my truck. And I was like, that's a badass song. I remember that song now. You know, it's, what is it, mid 2000s, early 2000s? So I was like, that'd be a cool song to cover. Again, bands already did it, but I showed it to my son thinking he'd be excited. He's like, no, I don't like it, man.
That's funny.
And then again with covers, though, I love Weezer, man. I think within the last 2 years, they got that cover album that came out. They did Mr. Blue Sky and a bunch of other songs.
They did Total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
A bunch of good songs on that album, but they didn't Weezerfy them. They covered them pretty much down to the tooth, the way the original sound, you know. And
There's a record. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band Reliant K.
yeah, I remember
Reliant K did a cover record too, and it was they did like a Justin Bieber song. I think they did Toto too, but it was cool because they did a lot of songs really close to the way the artist did them too, which is cool to hear.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With Weezer's, they did it real close to the artist,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wanted to hear something a little bit different.
Yeah, like their touch, like Weezer fight, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And I think definitely Bryan can't touch anything and not put his sound to it. So
Which is what makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, for one, like David doesn't like covers. He just doesn't want to do it, and we'll never perform them live. It's kind of just
For funsies.
for funsies, yeah. But that's the thing for me. Like I listen to literally everything, and I think it's
Same.
coming from studying music, and I mean everything. I mean today I was listening to the Loki theme song because I just love the orchestration and the composition. But my thing is, if I hear just like with Halsey, for example, the emotion behind it, the composition, for some reason, what I listen to does not reflect what I play. It's weird. He even said, "How did you even get into metal?" But there's a lot of like hip hop, pop, dubstep, things like that I want to turn into our style music to cover it. So after we did and finished the Halsey cover, I was like, oh yeah, I think if we do something, first of all, it's got to be something we agree on, but two, it's got to slam like the the way Halsey's gonna. I think that one's gonna do really, really good. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I wish his music brain would turn off because if anything, he's just making the album more expensive.
Well, no, I stopped at 8, but with the new song, you were like, "Oh, this should be on the new album."
I mean, but it's because it sounds good, so I'm like, why waste it? But then it's like, dude, like that's another like $100. It's another $200. So whatever, who cares?
And so a question I've forgotten to ask is, well, there's two questions, but the first one is Letters from Wolves. How did you guys come up with that name, or what's the significance behind that name?
So, when he joined, I've always had that name in my head. I've always had the name Letters from Wolves. I feel bad because he was slamming his head against the wall, just sending me names, and a lot of them were cool.
I must have sent him 500 different names.
50 maybe.
Not even.
But and then in my head I was like, this sounds more like a song name. This sounds not this one. Fuck you, this one. And I think, because I brought Letters from Wolves to her at the beginning too, and she got so annoyed that at one point she was like, just name it Letters from Wolves. You're sold on it. I know you are, because I hated everything else after that. Well, like you mentioned, I'm a big gamer. One of my favorite series is Final Fantasy. Specifically Final Fantasy 15. In that game, the main characters use dogs to send messages to each other. And we have a dog, Dusty. She kind of looks like a wolf. So I kind of just changed dog to wolf and messengers to letters. So Letters from Wolves. And I did kind of do a little bit of more background search, and I was like, I don't want it to be completely I don't want it to sound stupid in the long run, but in like Norse mythology, they did use messenger wolves,
Right.
so it kind of fit the theme, I guess you could say. But like you said, everything comes down to interpretation, and I always, when we post stuff, I always call us the wolves and stuff like that. And you know, lyrically, I think we can convey a great message, or you know, help people through whatever they're going through. Because I for one think we have very meaningful lyrics. So the letters are lyrics from the wolves. So for the people, so I mean that's kind of another approach to it for me personally. But yeah, it all came from a video game.
I respect that, bro. Because I'm a
Long story short.
Long story longer.
So
Forget about the
metal.
Only Wolves logo.
Oh
The
yeah,
Only
the
Wolves
Only Wolves.
logo.
That was all
That was
this
me.
band right here.
Oh, you were the one who did Only Wolves. I fucking love that
Yeah.
thing.
He asked me for it. I was like, yeah, I'll come up with something.
Yeah.
It took me about 2 tries before I sent him the good one. Like, yeah, man. I think this will work.
Yeah, I'm slapping that thing on a lot of the videos.
Yeah, and the first time we used it, I got like a ton of likes. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, people are all perverts, man. They don't know what this is. That was funny, but I knew it would be relatable. Like, I knew it would hit. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool, dude. So, yeah.
No, yeah, that was perfect, man.
Yeah, I respect the whole video game stuff because I've been playing forever too, and my favorite series is Zelda for sure. Everything
Oh, yeah.
Zelda. I've beaten everything except for Zelda 2. Everything else I've beaten on Zelda. I love that game.
And see, that's all what Keep Mashing X, that song, it's a full 100% video game song.
Yep.
And you know, when I first came into like hearing about these dudes and when they put their, was that the first single that you
Yeah.
guys? X was the first one,
Yeah.
right? When they put that first single out, the instrumental one, I heard the title and I'm like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, Keep Mashing X. I'm like, is that like a drug reference or something? And then it clicked. I'm like, you'll run for, oh, it's a video game thing. So when I approached writing that song, obviously I was gonna write, you know, a gamer song. But probably the last console I owned was like,
Atari. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, the last console I owned is probably like a PS2, maybe a PS3. So I'm way behind. So for me, I approached it from like Nintendo up to maybe like PlayStation 1. It's like all of the shit that I thought of, but lyrically it's 100% it's a gaming song. So that was a fun song to write. And that was one of the ones where I took like half of it done.
Yeah.
I had worked on it and we went in and I'm like, fuck it, we'll finish the rest of it. And we came up with shit and it was awesome. We came up with that chant.
Yeah. And that's cool because he recorded enough material that I was still able to edit and move things around after the fact. Because we couldn't decide on the end. And I sent him an idea and he was like, how about you chop it here and do this? And then it was like, okay, yeah, I see where it's going. And I think we flipped it around.
Yeah.
And that was the final. You were like, send that.
Because we had, yeah, like you say, we had all the vocal parts recorded, but I'm like, flip it and then like stack it up and build it to where the end everything is going. And we're like, yeah, that's it right there. But yeah, I mean, if you know, hopefully whoever's listening, check out that song and you can find our lyrics. Our lyrics are on Spotify.
Yeah. Well, all of them.
So people of our age range will definitely be able to relate to that song if they were gamers. So you know, check that song out and check the lyrics out, and you might enjoy it. So, and that's one of the hardest songs. It would be probably the hardest song if we ever played it live for me, because that's the only song on the record where I do not sing one line. I screamed through that whole song. Oof. And that was Bryan's idea. Bryan's like, you're just gonna scream this whole song.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, let's do it.
I'll be honest with you, we used to play that live, and it was towards the end of the set, right after Gift of Hate. So you're going to one of the faster songs down to a slow song, and we were like, what the hell is going on? Is this like slow? Is something glitching in the computer? I was like, nah, that's the adrenaline, man. So we cut that shit out. So I told him, I was like, I don't think we'll play it live, so just belt it, man. And he did. And now we're trying to make decisions on what we're possibly trying to do. Yeah.
And yeah, I approached that song too, like if I would never sing it live. So we'll see if we end up doing it live. I'm gonna be like, that's just gonna be another one. I'm like, I hate this song. Yeah. But I love how that song turned out for the record. And I got a lot of good reactions out of it too. Like, I think that's my favorite song. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't even sing on that song. Like, don't you want to hear my singing voice?
It's
Everybody's
crazy
like,
because
yeah, it's a fucking banger.
I've talked to several different people, and people definitely have different. I thought for sure people were gonna love Rise Demise the most, and there is a lot of people that, oh, Rise Demise, man, 100%. Um, what's your favorite song? It was Rise, right?
My favorite song's Rise.
David?
Yeah, as far as what we accomplished vocally on the record, yeah.
I don't know. I really like this town.
This town? Yeah, you do like this town.
I do like this town.
I know you. Gift they hate.
It's always gonna be a gift. Never gonna change my mind.
And for me personally, I loved how 5 Million to 1 turned out. Especially at the end where it sounds...
Well, we do like a
Huge,
full,
yeah.
a full choir.
And it was just us two.
Yeah, it was us
But we
two.
layered and layered
Yeah.
and layered and layered, and it just turned out, especially, you know, with the... It just sounds so huge. And that song, I mean, that's been one of the songs we've had for a really, really long time too, like Gift to Hate. And I never thought it was going to turn out to be like that, because back then it was all screaming too. But I always, like I told him, I was like, I always wanted singing on this. And he sang, you know, my dick hit the table like that. Fell in love with it.
It was a really low table.
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't that hard. It was like...
You know what? I got a lot of responses that said that people really like Duke City. I got even your mom. Yeah, that's your mom's favorite. A lot of people like Duke City, which was surprising.
I remember
me.
liking that one too.
Yeah, it's surprising to me because I mostly sing in that song.
Yeah.
There's less screaming in that song, and that's the song that we kicked the set off with. I love that song and the meaning of that song. I fucking love that song too. That song is all about alien abduction. So you know, for me or for all of us, I guess that was sort of a one-off song because it's I mean, it's a thoughtful lyric wise, but it's not really a deep like, oh, I'm emotionally connected or, you know, invested. It was just a subject that's always fascinated me personally.
It's one of the shorter songs too.
Yeah, so and it is one of the shorter songs on the record, but I'm like, I'm gonna write a song about it because I had watched a documentary, and I'm like, I'm gonna write an alien song, and I did, and it turned out I love that song.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of responses that was a lot of people's favorite song on the record too. So that was I didn't expect that one.
No, it's really cool to see which songs people connected with the most. I just, like you said earlier, it's shit that you can resonate with and you love it. You love the feeling. Yeah.
And I think for me, like even with my favorite bands, whenever I stream the album or I buy the album, like I approach it without prejudice and I listen to the whole album before I make any judgment, and I find something that I like and maybe it'll be after 3 or 4 listens to where I'm like, yeah, this is my favorite song on this album. It might be one of the B-sides, it might be whatever the case, whatever, right? But yeah, with you guys it was Rise Demise in my case, and I remember liking Duke City too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a solid album all in all, through and through. But I remember Rise and Demise was one that hit me first, where I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, this is the one that got me.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
How did you guys come about as far as how everybody here met before Adam?
I've known David for a long time.
Yeah, like 15 years.
Yeah, we three have been, well, specifically them two, but we've been in the music scene for quite a while. I met them, well, her specifically at Open Gate, I think was the first time I met you. And after a while, you were working with Coke first. When I saw you again after, many years. And then we started
Coca-Cola,
working.
not the Colombian kind.
Yeah. And then, I was with Pepsi, and he ended up working with me at Pepsi. So, I mean, us three have known each other for quite some time. And, I started working on Resurrect technically since 2022. By 2023, I had half of it done, and I was like, I'm going full pickle. And by the end, or mid-2023, that's when you were like, well, let's just do it. I'll help you out.
Yeah, because I went to his house and I was like, hey, let's start a band, whatever. I was like, you be my drummer, and I'll sing and play guitar. He's like, all right, cool. But then I would go to his house and I would play a song and I'm like, hey, that's pretty sick. I was like, all right, and then I'd go back the next day, but it was a different kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that like 3 times, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, man. You already have stuff already made. Let's just let's just go with what
It's
you
'cause-
made.
And for me, if I'm gonna work with somebody, I'm gonna try to bring out your best. In all honesty, that's why I want to utilize him to his fullest potential, because I feel like I can help him do that. You know, make his voice shine. But it was the same thing with David, because his strong suit is what he used to do with Burn Island Burn, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's your shining moment.
I like
So
Screamo.
yeah, so he came and then he was like, "This is the kind of stuff I'm vibing on." And then the next session, "This is the stuff I'm kind of vibing on." I was like, "That's not the same." And then the next session, I was like, "Bro, like, I love you, dude, but you gotta stick to something. We're not gonna be Tony tap dance extravaganza part 2 or anything." And he was like, "Fuck it, let's just do what you're doing." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I was like, "Yeah, you're a paid guitarist without the pay." I told her she's the paid drummer without the pay. Because initially I was just gonna release stuff. I asked her, "Hey, you want to drum? It'll just be me and you, and I'll backtrack everything."
But you guys are clearly an Adam, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I don't know.
Because
That's good.
we were. We would have been 13 years, but now Adam's in my life. It's funny because I showed her.
there's always that wrench in the
Yeah.
gears, bro.
I allow it.
It's
fine.
more a cog, if you ask me. That's good.
She walked in on the first section and we were braiding our beards
Yeah.
together. She's like, "What the hell's going on here?"
But no, but yeah. Oh shit! I lost my train of thought.
Of course you did.
I got all
Looking
hot and
at
heavy
me.
thinking about it. What did I say this?
I don't
That's
remember.
how you guys came
Oh,
together
yeah.
before.
You were gonna release music by yourself.
Oh yeah,
and you
I
had
was
to
gonna
be a
release
drummer.
music by myself, and then I asked her, "Hey, do you just want to drum? If we do any shows, it'll just be us two, whatever." But that's when he decided. He was like, "Hey, let me ride your coattails." I'm just kidding.
Well, it was just me being lazy.
So he joined, and he knows. I mean, they all know now. I'm very meticulous, very anal when it comes to certain things with the band, especially. But they're there with me because I didn't want to do this half-assed. I wanted
Right.
full ass, and they're giving full ass with me.
Handfuls of ass.
Handful, man. Handful.
You're in on it now too. See, doesn't end, man. Sex. It's all
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Adrian hasn't chimed in. He's real good about chiming in too.
sex.
But no, yeah, I mean, like I said, we've known each other for quite a time, quite a good while. Joe, Papa Joe, he was the one who told us about Adam a long time ago. But I think he mentioned it to you, and you were like, "I just got so much going on right now." So I didn't approach him for, I guess that year, right? Because we were looking for a vocalist before we even started playing shows.
I had told Bryan, even when I heard their stuff come out, I was doing Yolotli full on at that time, and I heard them come out. I'm like, bro, like I fucking wish I could do it. And somebody, I don't have the time to do double duty because at that point, in Yolotli, Lori did double duty. Once we got Bree, she was doing 2 projects too, so I could have very easily done both. And even my wife was like, "If you want to go for it, go for it." But I'm like, I want to do one thing and I want to do it all the way. So at that point I was like, I told Bryan, I'm like, I fucking wish I could try out, dude, but I wouldn't be doing either group justice.
But he was teasing because I see his name liking posts and commenting.
Dude, I love the record and I love the band. Like I wanted to be in on it. So for sure, like I said, I was sharing posts like to find him, and I even was racking my brain thinking of dudes that would have been good enough to do it. But I didn't know of anybody at that point. So once the opportunity arose to where I was free, I kind of hit him up again, or I think the timing was sort of right that we just kind of started talking again, and then he's like, "Well, what would you think about just coming in to do the record?" And at that point, I was pretty much free already. So I told him like, well, let's. I told him like, let's try out the first track and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And in both of our minds, we're like, this is an audition, dude. And both of us, all of us knew it.
Yeah.
We all knew it was a tryout, pretty much, because me and Bryan had a conversation. I think it was.
It was like so business transaction.
Few days before, where we were just like down to business. Like, dude, what are you looking for? What's your vibe?
How long is it?
Are you a fucking crackhead? Are you an alcoholic? No. What do you want to accomplish? Like, what are you looking for?
And what's with the bicycle shorts, Adam?
Yeah.
No, I asked how many inches.
Yeah. So I lied and I said 8. So
Then I asked if it's Pringles can or tuna can.
and he's like, pre-cooked or. So no, but really, we really, neither of us were fucking around. We were just straight up like, well, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? So
I wasn't even there.
No, we were texting.
Yeah, it's just, they were like, oh yeah, we'll try
back
it
and
out.
forth, and I said, well, I'll go in and track this song because he had sent me the song with vocals on it, with demo vocals. I said, well, I'll go in and track it. We'll start here since it's already written, and see what you guys think. So I went in and we did it, and like I said, like that night I left as pretty much as a member.
Yeah. No, you did leave as a member.
Yeah.
With my member in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I was like, hey man, how do you do? Like, did everything go good? And he's like, oh yeah, he's part of the band. I was like, what,
Yeah.
what
Well,
man?
thanks for fucking asking my
Yeah.
opinion, right?
Well,
And he
no,
says-
to be fair,
And he
I'm
says
the
we all
picky
have.
one.
Yeah. Well,
To be
it's
fair.
it's majority vote, and they
No.
both wanted him. So I was
No,
When
but-
it came down to vocals, I'll be honest. I told Bryan right away, I'm just not gonna accept anyone. I'm
Yeah.
very.
No,
When I listen to a
the
band-
music is your baby.
yeah.
When I listen to the band, people usually listen to like everything else. I listen to the vocals. If the vocals aren't good, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna listen to it. So when other people were like sitting on stuff, I was like, nah. And then that on, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And it
it.
was in person. That was the best part about it. But no, all bullshit aside, he did text me. He was like, "Hey man, I trust your judgment."
yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, honestly, I was kind of nervous because I've never screamed this much in any project. And lately I started doing it more. And I always wanted to be in it. I love heavy music, dude. I love all music, but heavy music for me is like when I'm having a shitty day or something, I put on like the heaviest shit. I'm like, yes, dude, this is my shit.
Release endorphins.
So I always wanted to be in something, that heavy, but I wasn't sure if I could pull it off. Like I screamed here and there, but I wanted to have range. I didn't want to have just one scream. And I've figured out a way definitely to do that on this record, and I think we're gonna keep pushing it even more. But I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able. And I think even David at some point pulled me aside. He's like, bro, you're gonna scream like 60 or 80% of the time. And I'm a singer, dude. First and foremost, I'm a singer. Screaming is like secondary to me. I never thought I was that great of a screamer. But we started doing studio stuff, and I think one of my other favorite tracks on the record is "This Town," because I did like a Cradle of Filth type of vocal, and I always wanted to pull something like that off. And I told Bryan when I went in, I'm like, I'm gonna try something. I'm like, tell me if it sucks, but I really have something in mind. I'm gonna go for it. And it's a high pitched, it's like almost like a squeal scream. And they were like, no, dude, that's the shit.
So again, Bryan
Keep
goes.
it. Yeah, so
I know, like he pulled it off, but I pulled it out.
You pulled it out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I mean,
That's how he got those
yeah.
high pitched screams.
So like I said, at that
He
point,
was tugging
like,
on it.
At that point, David even was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to scream a lot." I don't know if he was trying to bust my balls to be like, we have high expectations, bro. You better live up to it. But it's been
hence
good.
keep mashing mics. I mean, come.
So they've pushed me a lot, and I've pushed myself, to places that I've never been. So, but it's been cool,
Real deep.
I felt a little bit of pressure to come in because I knew that they were already a band for a while, and I knew that they had history. So I'm like, well, I'm kind of the outsider here. But even even though we started off business, all business, me and Bryan, we did also kind of get personal, like, oh, well, what are you into? What are you guys into?
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, honestly, like we touched on all
Dick
that
blue,
stuff a little bit
red.
too. Because I needed to know, like, all right, I know they're badass musicians, but
Yeah.
what are they about? So I went over to their house, I tracked, and they were super fucking laid back and chill. I'm like, all right,
The
cool.
vibe was
I'm
there,
like,
man.
this is
Again,
cool.
I quickly told Adam, I was like, "There's talent there, bro."
Yeah, and I knew the talent was there, but it was just a matter of like, am I gonna get along with these dudes?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's gonna mesh.
I've been in situations too where it's like really good musicians, but you're like, these dudes are not that cool, or or you just don't. Somebody rubs you the wrong way or something, or. But no, I mean,
But I
came-
rub them right every
I was
time.
gonna say,
or he rubbed me the right way, yeah.
I was trying to stop him.
So
But
He was in the band
I
and
came in-
between the sheets.
Yeah, I came in and it was like I felt like I knew them forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we talked about music and shit and like random shit like movies or whatever, and I felt like I was super comfortable with them too. So it was
Honestly, like if
cool.
you've been in the band
Yeah,
forever.
forever.
Yeah, it just clicked that way.
So I came in and it was all good, and we started playing shows and stuff. And I have to add this, of course, too, because I'm all about giving credit where it's due. So we played a few shows, and my brother from another mother, Paul. Paul had a lot to do with Uloli. He did our light show and everything, and he was at every one of the Wolf shows.
Yeah,
since
he was.
since the beginning. Since I joined the band, he started going to those shows too. And Paul and I felt weird at Wolves shows because we weren't setting lights and shit up. We were like, this feels weird. Like I don't have anything to do. And it was like 2 shows ago that Paul approached me. He's like, hey, so you guys want a light show or what? He's like, you want to go for it? You want to do it? I'm like, dude, yeah. He's like, I'm at the shows anyways. Like I love what you guys are doing. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So, Paul, it kind of was full circle for me because, Paul came along. And he brought the light show to the Wolves and what we're doing now. So it's like full circle for me. So I have, the fucking music that I'm super stoked over. And then our stage show has just been elevated like to the next level because
And
of
it's
the
crazy
lights.
how much it
Yeah.
adds. Because I'll be honest with you, I have my own internal schedule for our stuff, and you can ask them too. The first thing I wanted with the backtracking monitor system was a light show that synced up with the music. And my plan was by the first show we would have that, but things just kept falling behind, and I sunk quite a bit of money of setting up my own studio, getting the band together. Because like I said, I thought it was just going to be me and her or just me. So I wasn't able to do the whole light thing, but I was putting the research into it, getting the, these are the boxes I need. I got to sync it up with MIDI, this and this and that. And when I saw how much work was going to be put into it, I was like,
There's a science to it, bro.
Yeah, there is a science to it.
And from the few times I got to see Paul do it with the Uloli, it's like I remember asking myself, how does this fucker learn this shit?
Yep. So I'm really grateful because it just added so much to the performance, and I've always wanted those risers like that too. Like if I were ever a front man or a guitarist, and dude, those things are fun. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna fall off of them all the time, but they're fun as hell.
Like the last show that we had at 101.
Yeah.
101, the stage is not that, it doesn't go that far forward, and we have the risers right at the edge. So at that show, I didn't get up on them at all because I'm a clumsy dude. I was like, dude, if I get up, I'm gonna go straight to the floor. But yeah, it's super fun because these guys use the risers and everything now too. But my boy Paul he's brilliant, dude. Like he built all this shit. He had stuff laying around from past bands and stuff that he had been in, that he had done night shows for, and he learned our songs. He learned all the cues and shit on his own, and he did before the show that he did with us. I think he did maybe 2 rehearsals with us, and the show was like it was already there once we played live. So that guy's crazy, man. So
that's something I had to get used to.
He's definitely the 5th wolf. So
with
yeah, Bryan was having seizures and shit with the last show.
No, it's just when
foaming at the mouth.
when the house lights are off and it's just the light show, I couldn't see shit, and I don't play with glasses on, so I did the grandpa thing and I got glow-in-the-dark tape, and I put them on
First
all my
press.
guitars. Because there ain't no way.
Yeah. So yeah, because when we rehearse with the garage door open.
And there's plenty of
there's
sunlight.
light and
Yeah.
everything. So I told him we need to start practicing in the dark. So, but yeah.
you guys
man.
rehearse at your house too, or
Yeah.
at your place?
Yeah.
And you guys are on what side of town?
Huh?
You guys are on what side of town?
East.
East.
Not too far from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Far East. We live
Well,
in
this
the
is far east.
Dude, which sucks because every single band, every project that I've been in for like the last 15 years have been based on Far East Side. I'm like, how the hell does this keep happening?
Geographical
to me, dude?
oddities.
Yeah. Like when I showed up to practice, I'm like, oh, David's on the way. He lives like 5 minutes from here. I'm like, damn it, dude.
I live like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, not, yeah. I'm over exaggerating, but I have to pack a lunch to go to practice. So, yeah. So,
Fuck.
but
Going to Juarez, I'll be back.
yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah, man.
And so you guys' love story. How did this happen?
Cliche.
Everybody loves a good love story,
Are you
man.
talking about Bryan and Andy or Bryan and me?
No, not
We
you.
were joined at the Beard the first time we met. Oh,
Oh, you mean them? Oh.
It was a tangled mess.
yes. No, it was as cliche as it can be almost. She was a drummer for her band. I was a drummer for my band. We played a show that she just so happened to play. It was her mom, and her sister. I thought it was just 3 sisters because they looked similar.
Right.
Yeah. And she started playing, and seriously, it's like the spotlight went on her, and the fucking heart
It's like the
pouring.
rainbow scene, the
Yeah.
Dream River scene, yeah.
And I told my vocalist at that time, I was like, I'm gonna wipe her up. And he was like, you're stupid. So when she was packing up the drums, I didn't say nothing. The vocalist, he was like, hey, little drummer girl. And he ran, so it looked like I said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried talking to her. She ghosted me real nasty and
By
completely
accident.
said, like, I fucking forgot about you. And yeah, almost 13 years later now. So
I
she's
forgot
put
to
up with a
message
lot.
him back for a week, and I was like, oh shit.
She ghosted the fuck out of me, dude.
She was playing like a kid.
Yeah.
No, I completely forgot.
No, you're just like, no, I just really,
And then randomly I was like, oh shit, I never responded to him. Sorry.
She probably thought I was trying to be smooth, but I had a shitty held together duct tape phone,
Right.
and I was in Anthony at the time for like hanging out with the band, and it just wouldn't catch reception. So I said, "Text me." Yeah, for sure. Crickets. Crickets. I was like, this is bullshit.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry.
And then I met Adam.
yeah. Yeah, we've had a bromance since I joined.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at one point, David was like, "Man, you forgot about me."
Never.
But I never had that kind of what like the whole thing that they're doing. I never had that kind of.
No, our thing was more like the white boy surfer dude thing. Bro, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's go get a burrito.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was that kind of stuff.
We had a theme, dude, where we used to say all the besides the bro. I forgot what it was though.
I couldn't tell you.
But yeah, it's because I was a salesman at Pepsi, and he was. I think 2 days of the week you were my merchandiser, or 3 days of the week.
I'd work his stores.
Yeah, and like a good person, I would take him out every Tuesday or Wednesday for like lunch, and we would just shoot the shit during lunch all the time, and shoot the shit into a toilet during our shift too, because we would get Taco Bell a lot. But yeah, I mean, we had more of the bro thing. We have more of the insert here thing.
Yeah.
He found out I had the Brillo pad back there, but
Adam's a walking coin purse.
yeah, he is. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean it's just been like it's just stupid shit like jokes and shit. But it's really just it's a bond, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
We're just that comfortable with each other to be like it's dumb. Like it's funny because Paul, I have that kind of relationship with Paul too, and my wife is like. She's like, oh, which one of your other lovers are you gonna hang out with today? Because I have Paul's my daddy, and fucking Bryan is my boo.
Yep.
We're boo. So and it's funny because you once in a while I'll even mix up text messages. Like I'll send some shit that I was supposed to send my wife, and I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I meant that for my wife," and they're like, "No, you didn't." So,
that was for me.
Yeah, so we're all in on the joke, but it's really just it's a love fest. It's
And Adam recently posted a photo of a painting that he did, and I asked him to paint me like Jack painted Rose.
Yeah.
And Maida rudely intervened.
Yeah.
No, but that was one of the aspects that was important to me, and they all know it.
That you can joke around.
Well, not only that, but doing shit outside of music. Like, yes, I mean, we're already at the point where we're tight as a band, on stage or recording, but it was really important for me to have that friendship without talking shop.
Yeah.
And we definitely have that, and I have my thing with David. I annoy the shit out of her. We're join at the tip at this point.
It's like a pretzel.
Yeah, like a pretzel. But yeah, and then Paul is the sweetest guy you'll ever meet, but he's also he's such a funny dude too. So we gladly with open arms. I love that guy too. But no, I think we have. I mean, it's more than just the band. I think at this point we're really becoming like a little family here. So.
And it's cool because I mean those connections for me it makes a difference when we play live.
Yeah.
Because I'll interact with all three of them, especially Bryan and David. I mean, obviously we're up front together, and there's parts where we'll do stupid rock and roll shit, and I'll get on the mic in Bryan's face, or fucking David will like scream my lyrics at me, and he knows my lyrics better than I do. So really, so. But it's just it's that bond, it's those connections that I think shine. You can see it in a band when they're tight, or when they like each other. Even you can see that energy, and we don't have to fake it. We just have fun. So yeah, I mean, call it whatever you want. Like I guess the honeymoon phase or whatnot, but we're just enjoying.
Yeah,
we're enjoying playing together. So,
but there's also something to be said about that Tellez brothers charm, bro. Because I got Drew getting flirty on me every once in a while too, bro.
I mean,
I'm not pushing them away either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think David is afraid of unleashing his inner self. But any band that I've been in, it's always been that inside joke. There's always that like.
Who said I was joking?
Yeah, well, I'm just trying.
It means something to
I'm
me,
just
Adam.
trying to cover our tracks. But
Dude, we had
Never go there.
dude, we had a baby shower for my nephew's fiance here at my house, right? And we hardly ever, we never have my niece and nephew's family from their mom's side over here at my place, and they came over for the baby shower, right? They were invited for sure, and agent shows up and introduces himself to everybody as my lover. These people haven't seen me for years. They're like, oh,
that makes sense.
That's a good burn. Yeah, that's a good burn.
like if it was my brothers and my cousins that already know us, it's like I whatever. And I'm like, no.
that's funny. That's good.
En serio?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Nah, but we have it like that.
Yeah,
we're,
for sure.
We're comfortable. If I'm that way with somebody, it means that I'm really just that comfortable with them. So I generally like, even when we leave at the end of the night from shows or like last night, I'll tell whoever like I love you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I love you.
Same.
Yeah. Like get home safe. I love you guys. It's why not say it. So
I say it a lot, and it's always genuine, bro.
yeah. So you get it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, growing up with your friends that you've known forever, whatever, growing up, it was hard to say, and now it's like, we're only getting older.
Now it's like you never know the last time you're going to see somebody, so just tell them. So, yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys have any shows coming up anytime soon, or?
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
With Known Suffer.
No Suffer at Love Bus.
Love Bus.
Oh, I did
I
see that
love us,
post on
yeah.
your Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one we have coming up, and then we don't have anything else until October, which is the roller derby one. So I mean, our plan is to from now until then, work on our new material and
Yeah.
everything. So, but if a show comes up where we feel like just doing it, or if we think it's worth it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But so far, the game plan is work on our stuff. We're really hoping to get some merch together, like we were talking about earlier. So just push everything that we're doing to the next level.
And you guys get together how often to collaborate or rehearse?
Rehearse. I mean, if there's gonna be a show, we try to do it once a week. If there isn't any shows, I think the last time we agreed on it, it'd be like once a month, so we can focus on the new stuff. Like I said, right now we're just at the writing the lyrics phase and stuff like that. Like Adam joined with a lot of work, unfortunately for him, because he had to do Resurrect, and like I said, I've had the new songs for about a year now.
I did a couple of songs twice.
Yeah. And then I threw in covers,
Yeah.
so I just keep piling work on him.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been in the zone before where we're knocking out a song like once a week.
Yeah.
So like when we were working on the record, I would go in once a week to do recording sessions. So I mean, when we get in the zone and when our schedules permit and everything, we'll be pretty consistent and do like once a week session. So we can work pretty quick when life permits. So.
We practice on our own too. Like, I practice a lot. He practices
Yeah.
a lot. David practices at home.
I listen to the shit, on Spotify daily. So I feel dumb because sometimes I'll be sitting at work with my own music in my head, but I'm actually a fan of my own band. So if anybody walked up to me like, "What are you listening to?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm listening to my own band."
No, just tell them about your small thing.
You go on
Yeah,
this
kind
guy.
of no, but everybody
When they look it up,
See.
they're like, "This dude listening to
everybody
some
at work,
shit."
Yeah, I advertise the band at work, so they would know. Like, you're listening to your own shit, dude. You're like, how egotistical are you?
No, but it's
just
cool because it's something I pride in what we do is the quality that it came out on, man. That record came out
Clean.
so clean.
Yeah.
And being able to step back and just appreciate it. Playing it is one thing. Like I said, we put in 110%. Him, and I at the last show, we were sick as shit, and we still pulled it off. And when I had I created some technical difficulties, and these two held it down. So I mean, if it wasn't for them two, oh my god, we would have shat pants. But
Don't even need him.
being able to listen to it, with the production quality that we have, it's a whole different thing because technology and studio stuff has come up so crazy,
crazy,
compared to
bro.
10 years ago. And I've done other releases with other bands, and dude, you could tell it was in a trailer or like at
bathroom?
someone's house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm really, and I think I'm getting a lot better at it with how fast I'm able to pump out songs now. But the setup that we have right now is just, it's, first of all, we're saving so much money doing this by ourselves, but we're able to bring out, I mean, you listen to a famous band's stuff and it's right there in quality. So, and it's only getting better.
Yeah.
Definitely thanks to shout out to Letdown Studio too.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
They mix all of our stuff, and they mixed the full record when it was an instrumental record with these guys. They had them do that, and then when we put vocals over it, they mixed my vocals too. And it was a cool progression because the first couple of songs we sent over to them, there was some edits here and there where I wasn't happy with certain sections or sounds or levels or stuff like that. But once they did like maybe 3 songs, the rest of the songs, most of the time it was like a minor adjustment.
Yeah.
But we'd be like, yeah, they really they sort of locked into our sound and my sound and tones and everything. So they make me like this record. I'm most happy with how my vocals have ever sounded on a recording. I feel like my especially my screams, I'm like, fuck, dude, they sound awesome, and my vocal parts too. So 50% thanks to Bryan and 50% to Let Down for really bringing the sound out that I've always wanted to accomplish. So, but sort of going back to what Bryan had said earlier, like I'm really happy because I do think that we sound like our record live.
Yeah.
We really push ourselves, even me, vocally, all the parts that I sing and scream and stuff, and the backing tracks and everything. I think we really do sound very close to what we sound like on record. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, me too. And sometimes David and I think there's a contest between us where we'll see who can do the gnarliest pinch harmonic live, or I'll add some extra shit every other note.
I don't bother.
Yes, you do.
Pinch harmonic, I really don't. I mean, I could do them, but he nails them a lot better than I do. So I'm just like, eh.
Like on this sound, I really it's stupid how many pinch harmonics. There's not even a single pinch harmonic in that song, and I throw it like
live.
over half the song on live. So we still have fun with it. We still, that's part of the live experience. But
I never learned how to pull off a pinch harmonic, man.
it's way easier than you think it is.
I've heard, bro, but
It is actually pretty easy.
I never learned how to do it. I always wanted to fucking pinch, and I never.
For him, when he's tracking vocals, the pinches
Yeah,
right in the taint.
Those this town vocals.
right in the sweet spot.
That's how I got those this town vocals.
I'll hit record. You ready? Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard it's easier than what people make it out to be. It's just, I think what would be more complicated, having said that, is probably utilizing it the right way at the right time. No.
Yeah, that's bands back then when they first started tend to overdo it.
Yeah.
Or even on some records, but I think if you do it, it's a key moment where you have to do it, and I think it has to be done tastefully.
Yeah, it's how I hear to relate to comedians like Age and how they say it's fine to use the F word, but just use it wisely,
Yeah.
not right off the get-go.
Make it count.
Yeah,
Don't do the overkill.
Yeah.
exactly. Because I think, in all honesty, the real only pinch harmonic on the record is Duke, isn't it? If you really think about it.
Also,
Oh, Gift.
no. Well, yeah, gift, but
They're like, there's pinch harmonics on every song.
No, but there
I
isn't.
feel stupid for not knowing this. Oh well, Duke, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Duke and Gift.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But live, I'll throw them in every single song, every bar I can.
Yeah, I'll just
But it's just for fun, like
Yeah.
especially during practice. We both do some dumb shit during practice to just because we're just trying to have fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, he throws in pinch harmonics, but then I decide to play a note instead of an open chord. And instead of an open note, you get
Dude, it's because
like the third string, and if you play the fifth fret on the fourth string, it's the same note.
Mm-hmm.
but I can, and that's you must hate this, but that's like the music person in me, studying music. I can notice the timbre difference, and sometimes, like if you're not intonated correctly on the guitar, it sounds ugly, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. Play it right.
It's just like sometimes it's just I don't know. I just feel like playing the note instead of like hitting the open note. I just feel I don't know. But then it's like, well, okay, then I'll just do the open note. So
I've got some lifelong friends, and tell me if this is you too, but some lifelong friends that are married, a couple. My buddies, Eric and Jenna, and they talk about how Jenna would mention that her brother is so into music and perfect pitch and everything that if he hears anything out of tune or anything out of place, he gets migraines from it, I think is what she would say back in the day.
I don't get the migraines. My teeth hurt.
Right.
It's weird. Like it literally, it's like feel like I ate chalk or some shit. and yeah, because I understand what he means. Like the fifth fret on a certain string is the same as the open note, and that would be fine. But then he'll bend it, so it's just out of tune, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
it's just to give it a little bit more life to it. But
Yeah, I shouldn't be that way though.
it's all right.
But no, yeah, we like to have fun.
Yeah.
And so you just turned 39, bro.
Well, officially Tuesday, but
Tuesday will be the.
we went out last night and celebrated. So
Oh, by the time I post this out, it'll
yeah,
be.
I'll be well, yeah, 39, yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Just what you hit 40, man.
You know, I've been having this conversation with Maida, with my wife. I'm like, 39 is like the weirdest age to turn, because I'm in my late 30s. I feel like I should be hitting, like, I might as well be 40. Like, one more year, like, what is that about? I'm like, I might as well just be 40. It's just a weird year to me. I don't know, but yeah, I'm 39. So
I think I always say it, bro. I felt like my 20s lasted forever, bro.
really, I feel like my 20s flew.
And my 30s flew, and my 40s are flying too,
Yeah,
bro.
That idea I can definitely relate to, because I just feel like the years just start going by faster and faster. So I can definitely back you up on that one.
Yeah, I kind of figured with me, because I was real busy at work the last so many years, whatever it was, 8 years, whatever. And finally, I've got more time at home, right? Like I've told you before, and it just feels like I thought I'd be slowing down, and no, dude.
Yeah.
I've kept busier for sure.
Yeah.
On my off time, I'm doing a lot more than I used to. But either way, I'm a cool 44, I think. I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
But
He's 39, always ready to 69. David hates it right now.
It's because, like, I don't know, like, you know how it is, man. Like, you're at work or something, and then you say something, and you can't, like, talk normally around anybody anymore. Without it pertaining to sex.
Sex, bro.
and people are gonna watch this episode and bring it up too.
I know. Everybody's going to get hard on.
Everything that was said.
Did you say everybody's gonna get hard on us?
Yeah.
Hard on for
Hard
sure.
on us, yeah. That's what I said. They're gonna get hard on us.
There's from Wangs.
Wine car.
Well, listen, man, it was great to have you guys on. It was great. I mean, I've known Adam for a good long while now, and I love this dude. And it was great to have met you guys too. You guys are awesome. You guys are great.
Likewise.
I'm gonna wish you guys nothing but the best with your music, man.
Thank you.
And I'm glad. I always reiterate this too, but it's always good to have people here that I can showcase and talk about and talk to. You know, make new friends, and this is why I do this, man. You know, meet the personalities behind the music or behind their whatever their talent is, and like I feel honored to have had you guys come over alongside this dude here.
Oh yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank
This
you.
was a lot of fun.
So I've got nothing but love and respect for you guys right off the bat, and this was fun, man.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so
And,
much.
And I can't wait to see you guys live.
Oh yeah.
I have it to go see you guys live, and hopefully for the next show I'll be in town.
Hope
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
For sure, dude.
So, but before we head out, anything else you guys want to mention or talk about? Any
I
promotions?
mean, we've been talking about the record Resurrect. If you out there haven't heard it, head over everywhere you get your music. Letters from Wolves, Resurrect. Go check it out. It's a full length album. Follow us on all the socials. We're gonna have covers coming out. We're gonna have new music coming out. We do shows, all that good stuff. So just follow us and check out what we're doing. I'm not trying to twist anybody's arm or beg anybody, but I think we're definitely worth, checking out. We're genuine. We love what we do. So check us out. You might like us. You might hate us, but
and
give us a
rate
chance.
rate their music on the streaming platforms too. Give it a thumbs up. It helps out more than you guys know.
Yep.
And also, if you guys are anything like me on YouTube, the comments mean a lot too.
Absolutely.
Like feedback is great.
Yep.
On all socials, really. I mean, interact with us. Like when people comment on our shit, or like even on my stories or the band stories. I mean, we really love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's really letting us know that people are paying attention and care.
Yeah.
Care what we're doing and are invested in what we're doing. So reach out to us, talk to us. Hang out with us at shows. All of that good stuff. So.
Absolutely. We love the interaction.
Yeah.
Everything you said, I second it. I would also say, stay tuned and keep a lookout, because we don't just post stuff about the songs, but we like to do some silly stuff here and there. We got something funny coming up real soon. Real soon. I think everyone's gonna love it. But yeah, reach out. We love the interaction. We'll respond.
And the only other thing I'll say is, if you're a parent out there, if your kid is interested in playing music, learning an instrument, support them.
Yes.
Push
Yeah.
them. Not only instruments, if they want to be an artist or if they want to be a poet or take pictures or
Writer.
just encourage them to do whatever they want to do. Be themselves, be artistic, express themselves. And especially now, I'll mention this because it comes to mind. It is May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. So encourage people to express their emotions, to express what they're dealing with. People are not alone. I deal with all kinds of stuff in my head from day to day. We all do. But, talk to somebody if you need to. I have the opportunity, the beautiful opportunity to express myself through music. Some people don't have that. So, if something is on your mind or weighing on your heart, tell somebody, talk to somebody. So
It helps.
yeah, fight for your peace. So that's definitely what I'll leave you all with.
Absolutely.
I also want to add, we all love Daniel Paulus,
Hell yeah.
and hopefully someday it gets to the Bryan and Adam level. But Daniel, we all appreciate you.
Absolutely. And like you said earlier, big shout out to Let Down Studios. Any bands just starting out, or even if you've been at it for a while, they're definitely worth checking out.
Follow their socials too.
Follow their socials. They're doing big things. They're doing right by the community. So I would definitely hit them up and
You should have them. As a matter of fact, I'm saying this right now. You should have them in here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Let down. That would be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, hook me up with them.
They're
Let
out
them know.
there, doing what we're all doing, supporting each other, and just doing what they love. So it would be awesome if they're.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that, bro.
So we'll definitely push to make that.
We'll reach
happen.
out to them and we'll
Yeah.
make it happen.
For sure.
It'll be fun. So again, thank you guys for being here. This is the Long Story Longer podcast with the guys from Letters from Wolves. Again, love and respect you guys. Love and respect everybody out there that watches this podcast. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out, everybody.
Yeah.